Testing, mic check. Cinnamon buns, cinnamon buns, cinnamon buns. Hello, friendos. My name is Nez. And welcome to, what is this, day 6? Day 7? 6? Question mark? Hold up. I'm gonna take a look at my 6, I think, of our Endfield test streams. We have been going at it for about a week now. Almost every single day we've been streaming Arknights Endfield. And so far, we have finally gotten to near the end of the testing. Anyway, let's just log into the game first. Whoa, that's loud. What the hell? Also, flashbang. I forgot. Hold up, before I do that. Hello everyone that is currently in the chat right now. Kitty, this is your first time watching us live. Long-time subscriber. Nice.
Detailed plans have a habit of going wrong. I prefer
MZA,
more
what's up?
direct and physical approach.
Okay, so we are once again back in Arknights Endfield. Whoa, something's going on with the game. Okay, there we go. The Endfield technical test is about to end on the 21st, so we only got a few days left to keep playing the game. Might as well stream for the next few days up until the server shut down. But anyway, we are back. What have I been doing since the past stream? Not a lot, really. Y'all know I've been busy with most of these Endfield streams. I just edited that one video that we uploaded yesterday about YoStar Korea being on some incel clown bullshit. So that was the thing. I'm pretty happy that at least 80% of the people that watch that video do agree that it was some incel shit, and 20% do be some incels. You're a fox, not a cat. Okie dokie. Fan artist fox. Right, so we're back in Endfield. I was initially going to plan this stream for testing out all the other characters that we haven't leveled up yet, which is about Abuena, Zaihi, Ember, and just for Enmin, because she also synergizes with knockdown and shit. I've got most of them almost to max level each, and then I could just borrow weapons if the ones we're currently using for them, their signature gotcha weapons, are kind of doo-doo. I don't know. We'll see if these weapons will be good enough for taking on the crisis rifts.
Of this planet's sorrows.
But anyway, oh, kits are baby foxes. You're right. Those are what those are called. So anyway, apparently we got some mail from Hypergriff saying that today is going to be one of the last times they send out a comprehensive survey. So apparently they say this is going to be a long one, so I guess that is where we're going to start out the stream. So I will just pull this up on window. You expected more people to be here? Well, hold up. Why do I have to log into this? What? It never asked me to log into this before. Is this a different kind of survey? What do you mean login failed? What? Do I have to reset my password? What do you mean login failed? What's up, Jebel? Good evening. Good evening to you too, Jebel. So today they sent out a comprehensive survey, but this time apparently it's on a different website and I need to log in and my password is not working, so I'll have to reset that. It's apparently the last comprehensive survey they're gonna send for the technical test. The test is ending on the 21st. So we only got a bit of time left before before the servers shut off and we're not gonna be able to play the game anymore until the next test. Hold up. Copy. I am gonna put that in, change the password. What kind of password am I gonna put? Holy fuck. Oh, wait. I think I remember... No, I don't remember it. Okay, there we go. I reset my password. This should be usable now. Log in. Oh, save. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna just pull this up like this and then display capture. Like this. Display. Okay, here we go. The comprehensive experience survey. So for sure, they're probably gonna ask about everything all over again. We've already done our full feedback stream yesterday, so we're not. Hopefully we don't take too long re-explaining all of this on stream. Dear Enman, how far we progressed through the game? I have beaten Trigelos, which is the final story boss. How would you rate your overall experience with the game so far? So it's always weird that they ask you on a scale of 0 to 11 question mark? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's 11. Below expectations, meets expectations, or exceeds it. It definitely went below expectations because the story is pretty garbage. The storytelling has so far been pretty bad. The gameplay though, it exceeded my expectations because I actually found the depth in the combat. The base building, it has met my expectations, neither exceeded it nor went below. Okay, so, let's just say my previous experiences that I put in the previous surveys were always less than 6 or something. I must say it is about a 5 out of 11. It has been below expectations and shit. Yep. How would you describe your level of immersion in the game? I struggle to feel immersed most of the time. That has been a consistent feeling. It has felt very, very lifeless. Especially when it comes to the immersion aspect. So, we have that. Based on your gaming experience, how would you like to see the balance of different gameplay mechanisms be adjusted in the future? More combat, more storytelling, keep as is, open world exploration, puzzle solving, exploring, more of most of everything. Base is just fine. Anything more complicated than what is currently in at the moment might be a bit too much for the average demographic that they're trying to go for, which is gacha gamers. Have you experienced any performance issues? This is the first time they've ever asked about performance issues. In every other survey that we've done, they have never asked performance-related issues, so finally we have these. Overheating, high system load. Okay, I'm gonna check, actually. I'm gonna check my resource manager to see. Nope. CPU looks good, RAM looks good. How much CPU does this game actually take? On idle, this game is like less than 8%, but I don't know about when they're in combat. RAM takes about like 7 gigs of RAM. Nothing's been wrong. We've had a couple of crashes, but that's it. Wowee. Frame drops, definitely. Graphical glitches or rendering errors. Have we encountered any of those in the past week? No? Question mark? Not really. Oh, wait! Yes. Yes, we have. In the cutscenes, when the clothing on characters clips on the models. Yes, of course. Immersion breaking. Freezes and stutters. Yes, we've had crashes. That's related to crashes, but it's the same thing. We've also had freezes and stutters. Lag? Yes, there was one day, it was like on the 2nd or 3rd day, where we had consistent lag. I don't know if that was me or the game, but there was definitely a day where we had definite lag issues. Low frame rates. It's 60 FPS. This is like, it's capped at 60 FPS. This is a no-brainer. I want higher FPS. Auto restarts, login issues, issues that prevent me from playing the game normally. No, none of these happened. Trigelos lags a lot, especially in the second phase. It did? Like, from watching the stream? You can't believe you don't experience clothes clipping on people? I did experience clothes clipping on people. It was pretty immersion breaking. I didn't feel Trigelos lagging a lot. Frame drops? Maybe that was just from my OBS thing. Although from me playing the game, I didn't feel it. Maybe it was just a stream thing with OBS. Other bugs. UI glitches, mission progression blockers. Have I encountered any of those bugs? No. I haven't sought them out. Other people have been seeking out bugs and shit. Bugs. Nope. Not any of those, sure. How would you rate your satisfaction with the overall combat design of the system? Overall, actually, pretty satisfied. It has kinks to it. Some parts are clunky, needing work, but overall, I do think there are good bones to the combat system. How do you usually feel during battle encounters? Okay, this is way too vague. In the hard encounters, it's fun, but in 90% of the game, it's super easy to just out-level and out-gear everything, that you don't even have to feel any stress in any combat encounter. Why do you call us friendos? Because a few years ago, I just thought it would be fun if I also had... I also had a fourth... just, you know, a way to call you guys that is unique and shit. And it's sort of stuck over the years. I've never stopped saying it. That's really it. That's really just it. It's fun. It's not very fun. It's a mix. Sometimes fun, other times not so much, yes. What aspects of the combat system do you find less enjoyable? AI behavior lacks rationality. Yeah, sure. Combat feels dull, over-reliance on basic attacks, limited selection of skills, lack of optimal timing for a burst. I don't know about this. It feels way too general. Like, general combat in this game is really boring, but when you fight things that are at the same level or under level, it is very challenging, and it could feel completely different compared to what the average. That's an adorable story. Yeah. I think I was initially inspired by both Markiplier and Jacksepticeye. They had their own, like, viewer community name, so I just decided Friendo, sure. Friendo. It's gender neutral. It works for everyone. And I just rolled with it. Certain combat mechanics. Characters switch upon casts, pursuit attack after skill casts feels counterintuitive. Honestly, I've adapted. I didn't find it unenjoyable, I've adapted. Overwhelming battle information, enemy skills, cooldown to focus on. I can keep up with this. I didn't find it less enjoyable. I don't think it's overwhelming for me at least. It feels too reactive, there are not enough real-time interactions or cool moves to make during a combat enemy. Here we go. Yeah. Yep, definitely. Confusion about battle mechanics and difficulty mastering them. Nah, skill issue, I'm fine. I'm fine, I didn't have a skill issue. You're either under-geared or we didn't understand certain boss fights at some points, and then we adapted. Costly inconvenient revival process that makes me worry about team members dying, yes. Slow, difficult character progression that makes me struggle against stronger enemies. Slow? It's been pretty fast. It's been very fast. You could level a character from 0 to 70 in around 3 days of playtime. That's it. Not 3 days of playtime. 3 sessions. 3 gameplay sessions over 3 days. It's not felt slow. And we didn't try to bang our heads against higher level enemies. I completely understood how the scaling of this game panned out from the very beginning. I knew exactly that if we just kept up our progression, everything would feel piss easy, which we were correct about. Frequent need of recovery potions, yes, tiring, because I constantly need to weave in healing potions in between your rotations of skills and shit, which is clunky and annoying. Like, they should just lean more into healing from characters themselves. That's the most fun part about using healer characters like Fial. But so far, healing this game has been very clunky. Overpowered monsters are enemies, high stats, complex mechanics. They're not overpowered. You can overpower them very easily by just grinding your stats, that's it. Are healing potions hard to come by? Nope, they are very easy to get. You can make them in your base, you can craft them by hand, and you can make a sustainable production line to make healing potions that'll last you forever in the game. So, getting the healing potions aren't hard, it's just really clunky to use them in combat. Lacks strategic depth in terms of team synergy and tactical play. Nope, there is strategic depth to this game. The problem is, it's just very easy at most points, so you don't really need to think about this way too much, but there is depth to this game, which I like. The need for intense manual input. Dodging, executing pursuit attacks always makes me feel tired after battle. Skill issue? No. Skill issue. Okay, so just reviewing everything that we put down. Basic attacks? No. Pursuit attacks feel counterintuitive? No, not for me at least. Overwhelming battle information. Do I feel overwhelmed about what I have to pay attention to on screen? Sometimes. When my allies are dying and shit. But you could adapt. I don't know about this one. I'm pretty neutral. Anything you like about this game? I like the combat. I like the base building. I hate the story. The story is a massive downgrade compared to original Arknights. It's like they're writing a visual novel screenplay for a fully rendered 3D action game. And they don't know how to screenplay actual 3D characters on screen and make it interesting. Or even just make them emote better. The models are pretty flat in terms of acting. You love the base building component? I do too. How satisfied are you with the intelligence level of your AI team? Mostly dissatisfied. I don't know what more they could improve about it aside from making them automatically dodge AoEs, but that just feels like they're cheating. And I don't know really. It's like if they make the AI so good that you never have to worry about them. Okay. Then why are they even out in the first place? It's like there's a dichotomy to difficulty with the AI that I think maybe they should make some mistakes, but they shouldn't be brain dead. Especially in the middle of really big AoEs that they should in theory be able to dodge. Refers to moves and combat strategies automatically executed by characters in battle when not under my direct control. They only really do basic attacks when I don't control them. Yeah, I think I moved on from very dissatisfied to just hit or miss. I'm gonna move on to just hit or miss. Nowadays, it's the whole difficulty dichotomy again. It's like, my answer depends on how hard the actual encounter is. If the encounter is hard and the AoEs from the enemy hit really hard and could really threaten your AI teammates, I don't want them to be dumb. But then, in easy content, dumb AI doesn't really matter. So, I'll just say mostly dissatisfied. What improvements do you wish to see regarding Team AI Assist? As usual, preferences on their types of behavior. Like this should be mandatory. I want them to automatically interrupt enemy charge attacks. No, I don't want this game to play itself. I saw some guy. Wait, no. Never mind. I don't want this game to play itself. I want to actually play the video game that tries to give me fun. And part of the enjoyable part of the combat in this game is actually countering enemy attacks yourself. I'd like them to auto-draw enemy aggro. That seems too easy. And also, this might actually work against certain types of builds. Because there's an Ember build where you need to get her. There are builds where you could have increased damage when you're very low on HP, but for that to work, you need to be able to attract aggro to the character that you want. I don't want random AIs to get the aggro a tank character is supposed to get. I don't want them to do it automatically. And this says automatically. If it's an option, sure, why not? We could try it out. It could be a test. They could still iron the kinks out and experiment. But not automatically, no. I'd like them to initiate attacks and target I'm focusing on. Yes. Please. Yes. So many times in this game where we're attacking the most important, most dangerous enemy on the battlefield, and the AI is just attacking the trash mob like 5 miles away. Please initiate attacks on stuff I'm targeting. Besides combat, AI performance during navigation needs improvement. There are bugs when you're on higher ledges where they just try to jump over there. I don't know how else they could improve this, actually. But sure, needs improvement? Why not? I guess? Maybe? I'd like them to they're gonna teleport to your location anyway if you get far enough, so it's a non-problem just because they can teleport wherever you are. I'd like them to automatically use skills on cooldown. No. No thanks. No. This is not an idle game, and I do not want it to be an idle game. I want to play this video game. And part of the skill in this video game is actually using your skills, not off cooldown. A lot of skills, a lot of crowd control. Your crowd control skills are very important to keep at hand when you need to counter enemy attacks. Using them on cooldown is just a headache. It's just a headache, and nah, no. AI needs help. Yeah. I'd like them to keep active at least by moving or attacking, especially when enemies are not targetable. Yes. This is especially this is pronounced in boss fights like Trigelos, because Trigelos has phases where they become invulnerable or invisible, and it becomes a dodge enemy attacks phase, and sometimes the AI just sits in the enemy attacks while you personally as a player are just moving around. There are places where the AI falls into the hole. To fix it, just make the AI avoid traps and make them follow in a line rather than by side. Yeah. Fall in a hole, the only time we fell into a hole was my fault, because we didn't see that hole yesterday in the Blight Zone. I'd like them to smartly dodge skills. Yes. But I'd like them to run out of skills. But I don't think they should. If they ever add a dodge button in this game, I don't want them. Like, it shouldn't be too strong, right? I don't know, but whatever. I'm leaning more towards I don't want them to get hurt when I'm not using them. Because when they get hurt and I'm not using them, it feels out of my control. If my AI team is gonna get hurt, I should be the one to do that. Wait, that sounds kind of sadistic. What? I'd like them to automatically use recovery items when necessary. No. Yeah, I think healing is a part of, like, the combat management in this game. Problem is, the healing, it's more of a core issue with the healing itself, and not with AI just babysitting themselves. So, this is all good for just AI babysitting themselves, but healing, I think the player character should have complete control of the healing. Sometimes you might have not a lot of healing items left in a long boss fight, and if the AI uses it automatically in something, and you might need it, that's kind of annoying. I don't know, maybe it should be an option, but not automatically. So I'm not quite too sure about this, so I'll just leave it blank. Blah blah. I have nothing else to specify. How much strategic depth do you find in the combat system? Rich in strategic options, a fair amount of strategy involved. This is my hot take, but 5. I don't know if other testers would agree with me, but as a Monster Hunter player, I see the combat depth in the system. The real problem is there's not a lot of places to use that combat depth effectively. Like, the game is piss easy if you just keep up your progression. I do think there is definitely strategic depth in the system. Way more than I expected initially. Ugh. At this stage, what combat strategies do you frequently use in battle? Y'all already asked us this when fighting a group of 3 enemies. Same level. Knockdowns left. To maximize damage, yes. Strategically making rotations, yes. Triggering elemental fusions, yes. Basic combat strategies like pursuit attacks. Pursuit attacks are very strong. Like, I see some streamers playing this game and they are not using their pursuit attacks. Your pursuit attacks activate when right after you use a skill. So yes, you can go into a skill and then go directly into another skill, but you're like sacrificing half of your potential damage just because you're not using pursuit attacks. Seems like a majority of people want to add dodge. Kektone played the test yesterday and complained a lot about the team and dodge. Okay, first of all, it's Kektone, so skill issue. Second of all, I don't disagree that this game needs a non-skill related defensive option. But it definitely should not be very powerful in mitigating damage. So there's a fine line in balancing what kind of defensive skill they want to add, whether it's a dodge roll, a sidestep, or even a block. So they have multiple options that they could try out for future tests, and we'll see where that goes. Adjusting the angle of a skill cast to hit as many enemies as possible for... Yep, we've been doing that. Sneaking up on enemies and getting a stun on them. We've actually started doing that. We did that with the Gigaspawn double fight. So yeah, I employ all of these, yes, actually. Yes, I employ all of these. Tectone is just dumb. Yeah. Like, that man doesn't play other games aside from gacha games, so... You know, I don't expect him to be actually good at playing video games. Are there any combat mechanics you find challenging or unsatisfactory? The main skill and ultimate share the same slot. I personally am not bothered by this. I think it actually declutters the things you have to pay attention to on the hotbar. But this is pretty controversial with most of the testers, I think. Because in the first CN test, they did have a separate ultimate button. But the thing with the main skill and ultimate skill sharing the same slot is that sometimes a wave is ending and you want to start the next wave with an ultimate or something, or a main skill, and one or either aren't available. HG must have been drunk. They gave away the key to Tectone even though he didn't ever apply to it. Classic. I'm not particularly... I don't have any strong feelings about this one, at least. I've adjusted to it. But I don't know about other testers. You weren't in Arknights when the Dreamy and Tectone drama happened, so I have no idea what happened there. Not... I think the drama was just Tectone was speaking out of his ass about characters, tier lists, power scaling and shit, while Dreamy, Dreamy, he actually understands the game. So yeah, that's it. He harassed the Yostar staff and got banned and complained forever about Akko and Arknights. Yeah. Anyway, basic attacks feel clunky. Combo will be interrupted after turning or... Wait, did they ever ask this question before in the previous surveys? Do you guys remember? And did they ever have this in the options? Wait, what? I don't remember them as having this option before. I don't remember, actually. But this is exactly my problem with the clunkiness of the combat. Did they watch my video? Did Hypergriff Lowlight watch my video on the dodge button? I don't know. But maybe this is exactly my problem with the basic animations. Oh, it's the official Discord. I see. But yeah, this pretty much. Practical ways to cancel recovery animation outside of using your skills. You can cancel animations, it's just, you know, it's just tied to your skill usages, and your skills are very important to always keep up at the right moments. So sometimes you might not have them. So that's why you're stuck in basic attacks. They do feel clunky. Yep. Definitely. Hypergriff knows the problem! They know the problem. They're based on complaints from the CN test. Well, I'd like to think Lowlight watches my videos. Let me have my delusions, chat. Let me have my delusions. Even though maybe he might not speak English. Do you think basic attacks should be like Dark Souls, Monster Hunter, or more casual? What are your thoughts? More casual. This game is designed to not scare away the hoes. It should not be as clunky by design like in Monster Hunter or Dark Souls, because those games are challenging by design and they have a different combat framework. The clunky animations in Dark Souls and Monster Hunter work because you're fighting big enemies that are very clearly telegraphed. Like maximum 2 enemies at a time. 2 bosses at a time. Here, it's 3 or more enemies at a time for 90% of the game. You have a lot of things to... There's a lot of things to take into account on screen. So, basic attacks should at least be more cancelable than they are now. It would really help with the clunky feeling of combat and how you feel like how you feel like you're stuck in just one area and enemies and shit are just running circles around you. Quick skill casting or switching may result in a loss of previous skill effects. I still don't get what they mean about this. Quick skill casting... Do they mean using another skill after the first one means that they lose the pursuit buff? I guess that's something. But that's part of the skill of the game. If you want to go into pursuit after using a first skill, you're committing to that pursuit because you'll be locked into the animation. And you might be dangerously in an enemy attack, but that's part of the risk and reward of using pursuit skills. They are very strong. They have strong damage multipliers, but they lock you into the pursuit combo attack. If you switch straight into a second skill after the first without using pursuit, that's a player's call. Having those different options in combat flow is what makes combat engaging. So no, I don't think it's a problem that you lose pursuit effects right after casting a second skill or chaining skills back to back. Like Angelina's pursuit is like... Wait, no. Angelina has a pursuit where her ultimate, once you summon her ultimate and she floats enemies around in a big area, you could keep using Angelina and she'll have powered up basic attacks. And it's very strong, but you have to commit to using Angelina for the next few seconds. But if you switch straight to another character but switch back to Angelina, you'll lose that buff. So honestly, I think it's part of the skill in mastering like your usage of skills. So this is not a problem. Character switching upon skill activation. I don't know, this is very controversial. I don't lean anyway in this thing. I've adapted. I've always been playing in melee range, even if I'm playing a caster character like Angelina. And that's why I've always been in range for most skill casts. It's not been unsatisfactory to me. I just adapted. Just always play beside the enemy. Basic attacks or pursuit attacks cannot target multiple enemies at once. They can't target multiple enemies at once, but they can hit multiple enemies at once. if they're not just a one-hit combo. Pial has a 3-hit pursuit combo that can hit multiple enemies at once. Does it though? Or maybe I'm confusing that with the skill. This begs the question, how much does criticism on global matter? Since CN always gets tests first and CN usually has different opinions in contrast to the Western audience. Usually in these types of games, they do not matter a lot. But yeah, we're hoping that they're actually paying attention to what Western audiences are saying. Even in like FF14, where the game is pretty good about communication with its international audience outside of Japan. Usually, you know things are gonna change if the Japanese audience makes a fuss. So, there's definitely a hierarchy in who they think is the most important to listen to. Is it just you, or is the world of the first Arknights Endfield demo more pretty than the world now? The first demo? No, it's the same world. I don't think they changed it. Maybe it was just the novelty of the first technical test. Maybe we just have rose-colored glasses. Okay. Basic attack pursuit can't... No, that's not a problem. Interrupting enemy skill casting, not challenging or unsatisfactory, not a problem. Needing to switch 1, 2, 3, 4 to switch characters. F1, 2, 3, 4 to switch characters. I barely even use F1, 2, 3, 4. I just naturally use the skills. I mean, what are the improvements that they could even do to this? Aside from custom keybinds, so I could just put these on my mouse. Get an MMO mouse. 1, 2, 3, 4 can be on your mouse. Don't even have to reach that far on your keyboard if you have small hands. It's fine. The main skill also enters cooldown upon ultimate cast. Huh. I get why they put it on cooldown, because having an ultimate cast plus your main skill feels like that's just double the skills in the same period of time. That feels too strong. No, that's not challenging. That's not unsatisfactory. It's fine. Time freeze mechanism of skill cast. Target select direction control. That's fine. Adjusting the angle position of skill cast to hit as many enemies as possible. This is challenging in a way that we don't have many movement options. Yeah, you agree? First demo had better world theme than the technical test? I don't know. I don't remember. My brain is mush. My brain is mush. Sequencing skill cast based on effects and talents? Not a problem. The rules of pursuit attacks? Not a problem. Triggering elemental fusion with elemental orbs? Not a problem or unsatisfactory. Clunky dodging mechanism? Yes. Yes. Most likely second location for Angelina arc. I don't know. I'd have to look back to the CN videos of the CN test to see if there was actually anything visually different about the world. But anyway, that should be it. Just basic attacks being clunky and clunky dodging, which is non-existent dodging, or you use the dodge that is inherent to some skills. Which of the following describes your current focus during battles? I prefer to focus on the character I'm controlling, or I like to keep an eye on team members. I focus on my own character most of the time. If the team is not dying, I don't care. But sometimes they do be dying when you're underleveled. Which of the following ally combat information do you consider important and wish to monitor at all times? HP. Oh wait. Controlled character's HP? Yeah, no shit. Controlled character's position? What, you're gonna... Huh? What does this mean? Are you gonna blind me from my own controllable character? What? It's not the CN tech test, the gameplay demo released 2 years ago. That's not a gameplay demo. That was the promotional trailer. So those things are always, take them with a grain of salt. They are scripted. They are very scripted to a T, and they're designed as promotional material first and not a playable slice second. They're designed to just get you hyped about the game and shit. And that was a desert area. We haven't seen that desert area yet in the game. That desert area is completely different compared to the biomes that we currently have. There are only 5 areas in the current tech test. And yeah. Trailers. They be fake sometimes, just to, you know, get people hyped up and shit. Team members, HP, positions, skill cooldowns, stacks or phases of skill charging. Yep. Direction change indicators for skills during time freeze. Yeah, important. Locations of types of elemental orbs. Sometimes these elemental orbs, they get mixed up in loot. In the open world, at least. They get mixed up in loot. I was watching Kuki yesterday, and he thought that an essence that dropped on the ground was an elemental orb. So that's a thing. But in rifts, enemies don't drop loot in rifts. So it's a lot cleaner in rifts, at least. Attack targets of other team members. Yeah, sure. Damage inflicted by my team. Yeah, sure. I can't decide on what to focus on. Important and wish to monitor at all times. These are all very important. I don't know if the average gacha gamer is able to keep up with the visual clutter in Endfield, but I personally do just fine, just because I'm used to playing MMOs. But I don't know, maybe I don't know. Maybe for a different audience, this might be too much. But yeah. Kuki complained about the pylon for hours. I complain about the pylon a lot too. I wish it was like a tile larger. Holy fuck. The pylons are way too annoyingly low range. Skill issue. Which of the following ally combat information do you find it inconvenient to monitor? Okay. The last one was, which do you find important to monitor? Now, which is the most inconvenient to monitor? The health. Team combat health, just mainly because I want to keep them up. Targets? It's inconvenient because they don't target the things that you want them to target. They're just off on their own sometimes when you're fighting 3 or more enemies at a time. Damage inflicted by... no. They don't inflict a lot of damage. The AI is just there for moral support. When they focus down a single target, that's when their basic attack damage stacks up. But when they're all separate and attacking different targets, it's kind of negligible. They're only there to attract aggro. A wee bit. Not even efficiently. They're all over the place. There's too much going on in the field. It's all inconvenient. I wouldn't say it's inconvenient, but I don't know. Which of the following enemy combat information do you consider important and wish to monitor at all times? HP, position, stability, skill status, yep, debuffs. We don't have any timer for debuffs on enemies at the moment. You just have to look at the enemy and see if they're still glowing or floating and shit. So there is no way to track debuffs, at least on a visual timer. You just have to wait until it runs out on an enemy and they stop glowing. So, yeah. There's actually a timer on enemies for debuffs? There is? Huh? We'll test that out. I didn't know about that. I didn't know. There is a timer. Okay, let's see. Which of the following enemy attacks, enemy combat information do you find inconvenient to monitor? What is inconvenient to monitor? These are all pretty important. HP. Oh. Would this game feel any different if you couldn't see the HP bar of an enemy? Now that's a question. Monster Hunter, you don't see the HP bar of anything you fight. But you get visual cues on the enemy because they get more bruised up in Monster Hunter the more damage they get. Interesting question, actually. CC risks? What if there was a rift that blinded you of all of your UI? That would be an interesting rift. Interesting tag to have, like, for a roguelite mode. You no longer have your AI for a couple of floors. Interesting idea. AI, you no longer have your UI. Enemy positions, inconvenience, stability. Stability is okay. skill status, debuffs, remaining time for... I must say this is inconvenient just because I was completely unaware that there is a timer. There is a timer that you can see on enemies. I'm gonna just put that there just because of my skill issue. Targets of enemy attacks. Yes, this. Because sometimes you don't know if an enemy is, tracking you down or tracking down an ally. Most of the time it's tracking you down. But at least maybe like a little visual indicator that would show that the enemy has changed aggro or changed targets. I think that would be nice. Damage inflicted by enemies. No, I can tell when the damage hits. You can see it with the red number bars. Others specify... Maybe. Oh, oops. Whoa, I accidentally pressed F11. F12. Enemy aggro feels random? It does. Maybe add visual indicators to whoever enemies are targeting or whenever they switch targets. I don't know. Like, this would apply a lot more if if your AI could do way more than just, basic attacks and just running around the battlefield. You think they mostly aggro on melee, or at least it feels like it? Even I can't tell. But mostly it just feels like they target the player character. How do you feel about the camera's behavior during combat? It behaves as I expect. It works fine, dissatisfied, I'm not too sure. During combat, blah 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 blah. There's some weird janky shit that happens whenever you cast an ultimate because they have to play the cutscene and shit. Aside from that, it works fine. Yeah. Not satisfied. Like, what is there to be satisfied? It doesn't jank out or clip into the terrain or shit like that. Yeah, it works fine. The game's camera currently allows players to see multiple team members at once. Have I adapted? Yes, I have adapted. Why do you prefer seeing multiple characters on the screen? Prefer seeing? That's a leading question. I don't prefer seeing multiple characters on screen. You designed it this way. I just adapted. Team spirit vibe is stronger when I see team members supporting each other? In what way do my AI team support me? That's my question. What do you mean my team supports me? They're there for moral support. Combat support? I have to babysit them. No. It allows me to appreciate more of the game's landscapes as I move around. Does my feeling of the landscapes feel any different compared to if I'm just exploring the world by myself than with a full party? They never shut the fuck up. They only got a few repeatable voice lines, and over the course of 40, 50 plus hours, it got old quick. No, it hasn't, it hasn't made me appreciate the game more. It's rewarding and satisfying seeing all characters I've put a lot of effort into together. Nope, nah, haven't felt that. A broader view helps prevent motion sickness? Yeah, generally, yeah. FOV options. A broader view provides more battle information. Yep, generally. Yep, that is what that is supposed to do from a mechanical point of view. The wider perspective improves my tactical play when using area skills. Yeah, pretty much. Observing multiple characters' combat actions simultaneously makes for a more impressive and immersive experience. Impressive visually, sure. Immersive? No. I can access more of the map information, which is helpful for collecting items or exploring. Huh? Why do you prefer seeing multiple characters on screen? Because I can access more map information? Huh? I find this broad combat perspective innovative and intriguing and wish to explore it more. Innovative? It's nothing new. Okay. Do you find the game's current static camera adjustment range adequate? Yeah, it's pretty fine. Don't zoom it out anymore, it'll feel like World of Warcraft. No thanks. It works well. It's not enough. It's not enough. I'd like to zoom out further. It's not enough. I'd like to zoom in closer. If you want to see your characters up close, I guess. If you want to admire the models, it works for me. I don't personally feel the need to zoom in closer. I mean, they don't allow you to upskirt characters in this game. Joking! Joking! I'm joking! Half and half. I don't really care. It works for me. When your character is stationary, do I want to zoom closer into my character and see their expressions? That'll just make me feel more depressed about the emote system in this game. So I don't want to see their unemotive faces any closer than I do already in the bland cutscenes. But they should. You should be able to definitely zoom closer. I don't disagree. It does work for me, but I do agree that you should be able to zoom closer. So yeah. But it should lock into max range at combat. Or actually, no. It shouldn't lock into max range at combat. You should at least be able to zoom in. If you want a more immersive experience, you want to be closer to the action, I can see why you would want a zoomer point of view. It's less efficient in keeping track of the battlefield, but it's more immersive. So yeah. They should allow us to upskirt characters. Whatever. It's whatevs. What's your opinion on using recovery items during combat? I like it, but it adds a fun twist. No strong feelings. It's unnecessary. Don't want additional tasks during combat. Hello? I mean, I like it, but I also think that it shouldn't be clunky and add additional tasks during combat. Like, I want a mix of answers between this half and this half. That's exactly what Kyo tried to do in the CN test. We tried to upskirt Shen. It disappeared on us. It is what it is. This question solely focuses on... Healing, it does lower the combat difficulty to gain an advantage, but it's clunky, that's it. How do I say I like it, but I also think it's clunky? And there should be a second healing hotkey. Where's the specify button where I can specify my shit? Unnecessary, I don't want additional tasks. I think that, fine. Out of everything... Oh, here it is. Oh, here we go. I like healing, but it is currently too clunky with only one hotkey for consumables. Yeah, there we go. I think that's pretty concise. I like healing, but it's currently clunky because there's only one hotkey for consumables. Yeah. Q could be used. Both Q and E could be hotkeys to so cycling items wouldn't feel as clunky. Yeah, there we go. Q and E. Q is not used in combat in this game for some ungodly reason. Like, Q is one of the most convenient buttons in any video game with WASD controls. Like, Q is completely unused. Which of the following describes your gear selection? Attack, crit, thermal ore boost. I do both of these. I do thermal ore boost for the casters, and I do crit and attack for the guards. And then I put defense on the defenders. Defense or HP. Do you see how gear set affects your combat? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the gear. It is very strong. I could definitely tell. Which describes my weapon selection strategy. I do these? No, actually. I I mostly just go into different types of essences, different... yeah, okay. Yeah, these two. Pulse damage stuff, stat boots, stat bonuses, not really. And we've been testing a lot of the gacha weapons recently, and they are very strong. They naturally have very good stats. How would you rate your satisfaction with the visuals, combat visuals, and feel of the characters? Mostly satisfied. So-so. They could improve it, sure. In what areas do you think improvements could be made? Main skill animations? Fial has a very nice main skill animation. Angelina? She has an okay main skill animation. She shoots magic missiles. Sometimes she slashes her hand horizontally and shit like that. I don't know. It's fine. It's not uninspired. It's just clunky. Like, playing-wise. Ultimate performance, it's okay. They're very flashy. Good job. Weak feedback when characters are hit? Yep. I barely even feel feedback sometimes. Repetitive, uninspired basic... Huh? Oh, this is main skill. This is basic. Okay. Repetitive, basic. I have no qualms about either of these. Uninspired ultimate animations, poor hit feedback. Okay, there we go. Regarding the poor hit feedback, what specific issues do you notice? Damage numbers too small or noticeable too small? Can't tell. Enemy hits are too subtle? Yep. Visual effects animations don't look cool or powerful enough? I think they're fine. Attacks feel too smooth or light, lacking a sense of resistance or collision? Yes. Basic attack damage too low? With crit gear, basic attack hits like a truck. Which is why I reiterate that the best Endfield players that will come out of this game will be the ones that know how to abuse and maximize basic attack damage and pursuit combo damage. Not just spamming your skills. Basic attacks and pursuits are a lot of damage in this game. They have strong multipliers. So no, it's not too low. It's just that you need gear to make it work. The sound feedback of my attacks when enemies are hit, yep. There's not enough variation in attack animations. They look quite similar. I do not pay attention to that. We've only been playing with like 4 characters for the past week and so. We're only going to try out like more characters like today. How much do you agree with the following statement? I feel in control of battles. I can accurately, conveniently execute my strategies. When the enemies are underleveled, yeah, sure, they drop at the breeze of a wind. In harder combat, you have to struggle a bit, but that's part of the fun. Mostly agree. I mostly agree that I'm in control. It's just that when my AI starts deciding that they want to stay inside an AoE, I feel like, yeah. Actually, no, neutral. I'm neutral with that. Not mostly agree, neutral. Like, when I control the character, I feel like I'm in control with using skills and shit. But with the AI, that's another story entirely. How much do you agree with the following statement? I find combat engaging with a well-placed rhythm and stimulating moments. I mostly agree. The only issue is, it doesn't have a good rhythm at the moment because, you know, basic attack animation locking. And you don't have any other gap closers or disengage or movement disengages outside of using your skills. So I'll mostly agree with those caveats. In addition to the issues mentioned in the above questionnaire, there are also some opinions on combat engagement. Which of these do you agree with? Reliance on normal attacks in the battles too high, leading to somewhat dull experience? I don't know about this one. Reliance on combat on normal attacks? That's if you're like always spamming your skill and all of your skills are on cooldown. That's when you have to use your normal attacks. Problem is, this game is definitely not designed with that in mind. You have to save your crowd control skills for countering. It's not that it's too high, it's just that it feels like the cooldown of skills is very punishing for people that don't know how to make use of, that don't fully understand how to rotate your skills around in combat. It's not dull, but somewhat dull, at least with basic attacks. Meh. I don't somewhat agree with this. The combat mechanics lack basic action elements such as dashing, reducing the feel of control. Yes. Yes. I agree. Because this is a game where you have different ranges for different skills, and having no movement options outside of your skills feels like when you need to rotate around or re-angle your abilities, it feels like you're stuck on the ground and you're just running to rotate around to get a proper lineup of your skills and shit. That feels kind of clunky. Yes. Battles do not feel interactive. Once all my skills are on cooldown, countering the enemy tactics becomes challenging. Isn't this a self-report that you don't know how to play the game? This is a self-report, right? Battles don't feel interactive because all I do is spam skills in one burst, and then I don't have skills anymore. Then don't spam your skills, forehead. Skill issue. Wait, what? Save your skills. You don't need to spam them all at the same time. You could use them as escape mechanisms. You could use them as movement. You could use them as counters. Save them. So, self-report, no. Skill tactics and lineup strategies to feel too one-dimensional, with a similar approach applicable across various scenarios. Ooh. This is with the challenge of the game. I will specify with this one. Because overall, 90% of the game, you don't need to do any of like advanced tactics that I see in the combat system. You could go through the entire game just leveling up your gear and just spamming your skills. You never have to think about actual, proper rotations and shit until you meet a challenge where you actually do need to. You don't remember, does sparing an enemy with a skill reduce their stability points? Most skills, I think all skills in general, have at least one stability break. So yeah. Does it do extra stability break? I don't think so. But it does remove Mantle. Mantle is crowd control immunity. So if enemies have Mantle, the only way to break them out of Mantle is to counter them during a specific red skill icon window, red circle window. You think it does break an extra? Does it break an extra? I personally don't feel like it does. We'll check again later when we go back into playing the game. Combat lacks a phase for intense damage output, which makes gameplay less gratifying. What? The duration of break is too short to charge for ultimate and deal substantial damage. I do think that the break window is a bit too short. Yeah, I do agree with this. Like, the break window is like 5 seconds long or something. And some skills are damage over time, like Kagurabachi's skill. Some skills are some ultimates are channeled and shit. If it doesn't, not spamming your skills is kinda counterintuitive. Combat lacks a phase for intense damage output. Your phase for intense damage output is when you break the enemy. It's just that it's too short. It feels too short. You should be rewarded for your patience. Yeah. So I think breaks should be a lot more important to the game. I do agree with that. Because opening up a break window requires you to actually, understand that you could counter enemy attacks and shit. And stuff like that. And that you also have to save specific skills that you want to spam in a window and not just spam them early on. But so far, the break window is too short, so I'm gonna say that. Break window feels too short. And then for combat tactics, majority of the game is easy. It's easy with when keeping up with levels and progression. Progression leading to leading to fights with no strategy needed. Fights with no strategy needed. Like, you could out-level this game, for sure. And that was one of the disappointing parts about the Crisis Rifts, in that they said they were level 70, but no. They're always... The Rifts are always 5 levels below the levels they say they are. So you're always going to have an advantage in level scaling. Or in numbers scaling. And this game is already piss easy, even at equal levels. Among the following standard enemies, which one do you think has the highest overall quality? Standard enemies. Quality? Visual design, combat design, AI. No. Needle spawn. Yeah, okay. The needle spawn, at least it could heal itself. That's something different. Highest combat? I don't like any of these. I don't like them. Which of the following elite enemies do you think has the highest quality overall? Nidworm? I remember the Nidworm a lot. The Axeman? The Axeman is from... I don't remember the Axeman. The Gigaspawn. Hell yeah. I like the Giggles. The Gigaspawn. It reminds me of Rajang from Monster Hunter. Which is why I felt right at home fighting 2 of them. Because in Monster Hunter, sometimes there are quests where you fight 2 Rajangs. Yeah, Catapult? The ones that spawn bombardment in certain rifts? Nah. The Giga Spawn. Hell yeah, good elite. Great designed elite. Fun to fight. How do you rate the Crisis Raids? The 2 gorillas? I like it. The 3 burrowing worms? It's a damage check. This really only asks you if you could kill the worms in time before getting overwhelmed by the damage over time the other worms are spitting in your face. I dislike it. The Agaloy, I'm pretty... I dislike it. Because the endless waves, they're all spread out throughout a map. And you have no movement skills to just... Or you don't have any crowd control skills specifically to just gather them together in one area for an AoE, a la Venti or shit like that. So I dislike these ones. And this is wrong. This is wrongly labeled. Crisis 3 is the Giga Spawn. Crisis 1 is the Agaloy. This is mislabeled. What? Okay. Sure. Crisis 3 is the Giga Spawn. How do you rate the puzzle raids? The pushing crates? I'm pretty neutral about the puzzle raids. Explosives? Reactive devices? Was there a reactive device raid? I don't remember. Maybe there's something we haven't tried yet. There are some puzzle rifts that we haven't tried yet. The minigame with the bounce pads? I'm just neutral with these. I don't feel any way about them. It's a fun diversion, but you only do it one time, and it's not that memorable, I guess? What's your current strategy for assembling a team? Strong and helpful in combat. I don't feel any personal attachment to any of the characters at the moment. That's a red flag for a gacha game. That's a red flag. Come on, dog. I don't fucking care if you connect this to Arknights. Just make well-rounded characters that can exist on their own. It doesn't necessarily need to harken back to Arknights all the time. We're like years into the future. Move on, brother. Move on. It's a new era. From the perspective of combat performance, who are my favorite characters, Fial? Yeah, Fial. Fial and Chen. Pretty much. We haven't tried the others yet. Later. What do you think? What do you like about these characters? Heal? They can move nimbly and dodge incoming attacks. Here. Here, I want them to focus more on this. I want more skills to have secondary defensive options that you'd use to evade attacks. Hell yeah, baby. I love this. This is skill expression to the fullest. Hell yeah. Let's go. What else? Blah, 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 blah. Damage boost, short cooldown, charging time. That's it. Specify. I like using skills to dodge attacks. I like using skills to dodge attacks. It feels good. It feels rewarding. And shit like that. There's no place in the game that's hard enough where it actually matters, but it feels good when you pull it off. Focusing only on combat performance, how noticeable do you find the differences between characters? Differences refer to unique combat advantages given by all of these. 4? No, it's pretty clear. Angelina's a lift caster. Avuena's a pulse person that can activate orbs and create an orb with her ultimate. I think there are clear differences. Is like a base healer. Ember is like a brawler plus a defender who can make a shield. There are clear differences. Yeah, I feel that. What's my current go-to lineup as of the moment for the past week? Wolfguard, Chen, and Angelina. We had resources for character progression. I did have resources. They sent us 2 emails full of resources just to catch us up. So Ember, Zaihi, Enmin, and Avuena. Which of the following statements aligns with your approach against stronger, higher level enemies? I don't know if I'm reading too deep into this, but do they know that the game is only hard when you're under-leveled? Is this what this implies? Like, is it by design that the game is obviously easy when you're equal-leveled or over-leveled? Do they know? I'd avoid confronting them and prefer to strengthen my team. We did that with the one guarding the Algomera. Whatever mushrooms, the level 40 promotion mushrooms. I did this to match the enemy levels. I mean, it's about the same thing. Significantly strengthened, but this is just to match the enemy level. I did matching. I didn't need to over level. I'd like to try challenging higher level enemies. If I can't beat them, oh, this is what I did. That's what I did. Yeah. If you could choose, how do you prefer to enhance your combat power for overcoming higher level enemies? If I could choose? Through quicker reactions, more precise maneuvers, yes. Through deeper, more targeted strategy planning. Bonus effects exploiting enemy weaknesses. I also like this. Oh, I'm open to both. I'm just not open to just over leveling the enemy. That's it. Why is that option not there, and why can't I say I don't want that? Because this is also something that Kuki said yesterday on his stream. This is like reverse to Arknights. In Arknights, you could beat levels even if you are severely under-leveled by just outskilling the game. But in this game, numbers are very important. Your progression is very important. It's more important than actually being skilled. So, if I had to choose one thing, I'd choose the first one. Just be more skilled, and you should be able to get through most enemies. Damage checks are not that interesting for... That's just artificial challenge. Damage scaling through over-leveling and under-leveling, that's just artificial difficulty. It's not real. It's not genuine difficulty. In the future, what kind of combat experience would you like for the team-based gameplay? Ranking. What does ranking mean? Oh, you could rank it from first, second, third? Okay. I think the first option is more action. Yeah. But that's where my biases come from. Because I'm actually open to both of the answers previously. Whether it was asking whether your performance in combat is what you prefer the most or your performance out of combat, which is preparation. I'm also both of those players. I play a lot of strategy games. XCOM, Darkest Dungeon. A lot of the skill in that game is in preparation. But it's also in the actual gameplay, at least. But for this game, I think they should focus more on actual gameplay stuff instead of preparing for the gameplay and making sure you outgear the gameplay. For this game, at least. What kind of experience would I like for team-based combat? I'd like more real-time interactions with enemies that contribute to more thrilling action-packed gameplay. Intricate skill combos. I'd prefer relatively comfortable combat experience where I can defeat enemies without heavy reliance on strat. Fuck that! Fuck that, bro. For the chores that you have to do every day, yeah, sure. Make them easy as fuck, but... You know, there has to be some challenge to the game. You can't play RTS, the genre is a different beast. I can't play RTS. I'm bad at RTS. RTS games are I'm pretty hard at though. I don't like those. I like turn-based strategy games. Real-time strategy games are not for me. I get skill issued by real-time strategy. I'd like a chance to think about varied lineup strategies, make the most out of synergies to tackle combat scenarios. So this is related to the previous question. Like, this is my preferences on what I find the most important. So overall, 1, 2, 3. This is my ranking. Which of the following ways of your character progression do I prefer? 3 is for OG Arknights players that just want to breeze through the game and have the gameplay itself. I sometimes peep the Endfield tester channel on the Discord. And some of the feedback there is like, I wish the game would play itself. I wish we didn't have ziplines but teleporters so I don't have to run or zipline through the world. I wish we have a sweep for the rifts. Someone asked to have a sweep for the rifts. The rifts are already easy as fuck. They take less than 30 minutes to empty your sanity already, and you don't even have to think about the strategy, or you don't even have to struggle with them once you're all progressed up. And someone was still asking for a sweep. It's only 30 minutes, dude. Not even 30 minutes, it could be like 15 minutes by just playing 3 rifts, and that'll completely deplete your sanity for the day. I was talking about strategic thing? Oh, the strategic thing. Yeah, okay, preparation. I do like preparation. OG Arknights players, we love our preparation. Our theory crafting, our synergy crafting, hell yeah. I'm down with that. You know, I misread that. BA and Nikkei brain rot? Yeah. It's one of the reasons why I quit Azure Lane. I mean, I like the collection part of gacha games. Obviously hate the gambling part about them, but you know, there has to be something else that grips me to make these tolerable. With Arknights, the story was great, the gameplay was great, but with Blue Archive and Azure Lane, the gameplay and progression was brain dead. Azure Lane at least had a nice story. It was a change of pace. Azure Lane, I mean, Blue Archive had a nice story. Azure Lane has a non-existent, disjointed story. What the fuck? Which of the following character progression do I prefer? Getting materials through battles, upgrading through raids. This is sanity spenders. These are the rifts. Crafting gear through the base. Passive XP through the base. Do I prefer? Obtaining rewards through the base? Honestly, I'm gonna have to say that I think the trading station is kinda too powerful. I don't know. It's like you could easily make a production line that just keeps up with the trading station and it's just free materials every day. And sure, free materials are very nice, but there's not really... It's not that engaging. I don't know about this one. I'm not against it, it's just that I don't like it. I'm neutral about it. Exchanging for rewards through... This is kind of connected, because this is a trading station. This thing I like. I like that there's a faction outpost that you could get credits for. But whether all those credits should come from the base? I don't think so. I don't think the base should... Yeah, it really is the balance that'll come with how much of the gameplay of Endfield will be base gameplay and how much will be exploration combat gameplay. That's the balance they have to find eventually. As of now, I think there's a lot more base gameplay once you hit endgame. Gear being craft only is a great change of pace. Yeah, I do like that. I definitely do like that. Yeah. Although, would I prefer if it came from a hard boss? There is an argument to be made that beating a hard boss and getting a great piece of loot feels a lot more rewarding than getting gear, than just gambling in the base, trying to get artifice gear. There is an argument to be made against this. Maybe there should be some boss where you could farm out artifice gear? Or a higher tier. Like, the highest tier of gear should not just come from the base. I don't think it should come from the base. The base should get you like to 80% of your necessary power needed to face the game. But I think if you could fight a really hard enemy, you should be rewarded for fighting that hard enemy. And there should be people in the game, the really skilled people in the game should have, you know, their gear should reflect that. It shouldn't just be set up a production line and everyone has the same tier of gear through barely any effort. The hardest encounters in the game should definitely reward you in some way that is not available for quote-unquote lesser skilled players. That is good. It's an aspirational thing. This is not like being a hardcore player where I just want exclusive gear that only I could get because I'm a good player. No. This is like, if you see a player or a streamer with really banging gear, like an Artifice 2.0 gear that is better than any gear that you get in the base, you're gonna try to find out, how did they get that gear? I want to get that gear. But you can't get it through the base, so how do you get it? You fight this really hard boss. If you beat that boss, you get that gear. So it becomes an aspirational thing that gets people to want to actually engage with the combat and shit like that. Farming gear turns it into a Genshin headache. Genshin isn't the only game with gear out there. There are so many different ways to handle gear drops from combat that is not necessarily as frictionful as Genshin's gear system. So no, I'll have to specify this actually. I'm not gonna put this, but yeah, these aspirational things are very important to video games. Because you go to, once again, I'm gonna go back to Monster Hunter. If you see a guy with like, so Fatalis is a very, very hardcore boss in Monster Hunter. Or there are many hardcore bosses in Monster Hunter that take a lot of skill to take down. But you will never have access to that gear if you can't beat that boss. But you could still craft like lower level gear through, that is like 80% of the power compared to the really hardcore gear. But there should be definitely aspirational things that you could get only by being a good gamer. It shouldn't just come for free in it should, like, 100% of the best gear should not come for free. And as it feels right now, that's basically it with the base. Hardcore players should be awarded with trim medals like in Arknights or tiles like in Destiny 2. But gear, meh. There are hardcore weapons in Destiny 2. Trials weapons. The hardcore PvP in Destiny 2 has exclusive gear that people aspire to get by going into Trials of Osiris, Trials of Saint 14. Raids are exclusive. Raids have exclusive gear in Destiny 2 that people that do not raid will never get. But if eventually they do raid, that's how they get inspired to do content. So honestly, this is where I diverge from gacha gamers and where I come from, where, yeah, no, I don't think a majority of your power should, like a majority of your gear should come from the base. I don't prefer it, but it's there, which is okay. I don't hate it, but it's okay. Don't worry, Lowlight is the 14 player. Yeah. Like in 14, you can only get ultimate weapons, which are completely aesthetic. They're just skins. From the hardest fights in the game, you only get a title when you beat an ultimate. I've never beaten the ultimate. I don't hardcore FF14 like I do other games, which is just a me thing. But it's an aspirational thing. You see people with that kind of gear that seems exclusive, you have to get good to get there. And that's what pushes people to get better and better at games. It's a good thing. It's understandable for MMOs, but gacha games are a different beast, you feel? He absolutely knows his shit. I do? Or Lowlight? Transmog is great too. Okay, that's also a good thing. Like, they put skins behind the hardest fights in the game. That's one compromise. If they don't want to give gear to the hardest fights. So yeah, it's a complex question. And it'll depend on how do they really want to go about this. But yeah. Anyway, gear is very powerful. Gear is very powerful in general, just from the base. You don't put in too much effort for that power. And for the casual player, that's great. But for the hardcore player that wants to aspire for higher ceilings, maybe they should be rewarded in some ways. Whether it's gear or not, I don't know. Whether it's skins or not, I don't know. Trim medals? Do people really care what kind of medals people have in Arknights? Like, most people just use a guide, I think. Like, medals don't really mean much in Arknights in general. It's the really high clears. In Arknights, the gameplay people we respect the most aren't people with medals. Everyone can get medals. They're the ones with the highest CC clears. So, obtaining progression materials through the open world, I do like getting materials through the open world. I want to engage with the world more compared to the base. I like the base, but the world needs some love. Raids? I already said I'm not a fan of rifts. I'm not a fan of mobile game energy spending just to progress. I don't like mobile game energy in general. Not a fan of this. Passive XP from the base? It's okay. It is okay, especially since it's for just catching up backup characters from 20 to 50. Obtaining rewards, other essences, nah, I'm not into that. What do you consider the most effective tactic for boosting your team's strength? Levels. 100% levels. It's all about levels. And maybe weapon levels and shit. Combat skills, not important. You could reach Trigelos without ever leveling half of your skills. Essences, not that important. Didn't care about it until after beating Trigelos. Strategic lineup, didn't really matter at the moment, just because there's no real challenge in the game. Employing more efficient combat tactics. No, most important is always just outscaling the game. Whether I like that or not is a different question. I don't like it. I don't like that this game is so reliant on just meeting a damage check. Or numbers check. Equipping Artifice gear, upgrading Artifice. No, Artifice gear is for over-optimization already. It's overkill for most of the challenge in the game as of now. Enhancing promoting weapons, actually, kinda a bit. It's like half and half between leveling and weapons. So yeah, there's that. Could you please share with us how much you like different characters from 4 aspects? This is new. Art design, character modeling, combat animations, performance animations. Okay. No choices here. Full body portrait, appearance, 3D fidelity, detailing, rendering style, basic attacks, skill animations, hit feedback, ultimate animations, character animations in display interface. Focusing solely on art design, how would you rate the following characters? Art design, Abuena, love it. Angelina, she's okay. Chen, she's okay. Fial, neutral. Enmin, hate it. I hate the Enmin. Wolfguard, hate it. I hate Kagurabachi. Y'all already know where I am with Kagurabachi. Perlica, she's okay, neutral. Zaihi, love her. I love Zaihi. Ember, honestly, hate it. She's over-designed. She has too much going on in her design. I hate her design. There's so much going on. She's over-designed, for sure. Am I gonna... I'm just reviewing this. Chen. Okay, Abuena. Okie dokie. Rip. It is what it is. Focusing solely on character modeling, how would you rate the characters? Fidelity, detail, rendering style. I think the rendering style is fine. It's pretty... It matches up with all of the CG trailers that they've been doing for the past few years in Arknights. But aside from that, it's been fine. It's all been neutral. I have no qualms about the rendering. As of the moment, the emoting though, that's a different question. Combat animations. Abuena we haven't tried. We haven't noticed. We haven't tried Abuena that much yet. Angelina, I like her. I like her attacks. Chen, I love her attacks. Fial, it could be a bit flashier. Neutral. Enmin, we only played Enmin for like the first day or so, and then we switched up. Not quite too sure actually. I'm neutral on Enmin. Wolfguard, it's okay. I'm neutral on Wolfguard's animations. Perlica, I don't know. Not too strong feelings. Haven't tried. Abuena's your favorite for you? Base take. I'm speculating that she was designed by LM7. Performance animations. How would you rate the following characters? Animations. Wasn't the previous one animations? Haven't noticed. Angelina, she's very well animated. At least when it comes to gameplay stuff. Chen, okay. Fial, neutral. Enmin, neutral. Wolfguard. Performance animations. Is this combat animations? Or... you know, story animations. What is this? Oh, in the display interface. Oh, it's in the menu. Oh, they're talking about menu stuff. Okay. Oh, okay. So that means I like this. I find it weird that there's just this one menu where, in the menu where you level them up, they just point at the screen. They point at the screen. It's a weird emote. Like, what's that supposed to mean? Point, stare, point, stare. Ember has great Y'all already know what I felt about Ember's character animations in the display. And the physics of her animations, love it. I haven't noticed Zaihi's animations. Perlica's haven't noticed. Wolfguard, I just hate him in general. That's my pettiness leaking out. Enmin? I don't know about Enmin. Neutral. Fial? Neutral. I like... Okay, there we go. Yeah, that should be. Wow. If Wolfguard has one hater, that's me. That's me. I'm Wolfguard's #1 hater. I'll use him in combat as a tool, but I am not parasocially attached to that man. Have you explored the maps yet? Casual exploration. Actively engaged. We've actively engaged. What about old Wolfguard when he was holding a gun? There was a previous Wolfguard design that wasn't used and updated. I don't know if I prefer that more, but anything's better than current Wolfguard. How do you rate your exploration experience? Hub base? Hub base is neutral. Hub base is the tutorial area. Valley Pass? Valley Pass is a straight line. Quarry? Quarry's sick. Originium Research Park? It's sick. It has a lot of secret areas. Oh wait, no. Oh, Research Park. Research Park is also, in general, a straight line. So it's just more neutral. Blighted Zone? Yes, sick. Lots of secret areas in the Blighted Zone. You mentioned that some maps less than ideal exploration. Results disappointing? Yep. Scenery mood? Yep. Sense of purpose? Yep. Exploration process is inconvenient. It's a straight line. It wasn't inconvenient. It was just not stimulating. During your explorations, which of the following issues have you encountered? During exploration, many areas are inaccessible. Like inside of buildings? Didn't really feel that. Maps lack depth in structures, clarity in instructions. Didn't feel that. Layouts are too complex. Some of them are actually too simple. Like Quarry is kind of complex in a way, but it has one path, which is just worming your way around like this. That's... yeah, it just snakes through the Quarry. It's not complex. Puzzles are too challenging. Skill issue? Frequent combat interruptions? Yes. Not enough scattered story elements? Yeah, sure, put more. Why not? I don't fucking care though if you connect it back to Arknights. At least build Talos 2's world a lot more than just harkening back to Terra. Exploring is efficient? Isn't efficient. I can't move or climb quickly. If you're on foot. If you have a zipline, exploring is fast, but ziplines imply that you already explored the place and set up electricity in ziplines, so yeah, I could see this. The world feels disjointed. Map scenes remain static. Yeah, like add a day or night cycle or something, or weather system. Anything that makes the maps feel more alive. Art design of maps are subpar. Generally, yeah. They've been very samey. There are too few open areas to explore. There's only 5 areas to explore. I don't know. Ziplines become available too late in the game. I don't know. I applied them a bit late after finishing the story. I think the intended design is that you apply them as you go through new areas. I think that's the intended way. So I don't know, maybe I just did them late myself. But once I got up, then the ziplines were fun. Collecting puzzle mechanisms weren't interesting or varied enough. Sure. I don't have many opportunities to make changes in the game world, place facilities on maps however I want to. Wherever I want to. Ziplines, pylons and shit being hindered by elevation differences. Is that it? I don't know about this. I can't find the last few items for almost completed collection. I haven't tried collecting everything. Excessive invisible barriers. I don't feel this. Feels too small? I don't feel this. Not enough collectible items? I haven't tried collecting them. Items collected during exploration don't seem valuable enough? The moment you could produce endgame gear, or the highest tier of gear in the base, it feels unrewarding to collect items in open world. So yeah, I do agree with that. Like, the base could supply you with almost everything you need. So anything that you pick up after setting up your base at the highest tiers, it does not feel rewarding. It just feels like trash. After base is set up, loot in open world feels negligible. Analogs for lost sectors from Destiny would be cool. Yeah, I agree. I agree. There are some caves inside some areas, but they're pretty short. They only have like one. But that's like a whole mission. At least modern lost sectors. Yeah, lost sectors would be cool. Lost sectors would be great, actually. Just dungeons that you'd find in the open world, not just rifts that you go into. Oh yeah, sure. In-world dungeons would be engaging. In-world dungeons would be engaging. Reference lost sectors in Destiny 2. Lowlight and I are G's. We're pals. He'll know what this means. No, I don't think that man actually plays Destiny 2. He only watched like a main story compilation in order to prepare for the collab. I don't think he actually plays Destiny 2. Or just big unmapped location like in Europe, in the European Dead Zone. Mean with loot. But in-game dungeons would be nice to actually keep coherence with the world, because rifts are pretty disjointed with the world building of Talos 2. They're pocket dimensions. Rifts feel disjointed to Talos 2's world building. If you watch that, he must have played it, you'd be surprised. Like, majority of the story of Destiny 2 currently is not even in the game. So everyone has to watch a recap video of all the content that was vaulted. Europe as the moon, not the EDZ. Oh. Have you revisited certain areas for further exploration? We have, when we got grenades. Comparatively, which chapter's map do you feel offers less pleasant revisit experience? Less pleasant. Less pleasant. Hub base. You're visiting the hub base whether you like it or not. That's where your base is. Valley Pass is unengaging. The quarry. If you don't have ziplines set up in the quarry, it feels unpleasant. But once you have ziplines, you can just shortcut everywhere. Originium Research Park. Same issue with the quarry. You could fix it with ziplines. Blighted Zone. Blighted Zone has a lot of secrets, which actually make it kind of fun to explore. So I'll just say the Valley Pass. Which of the game's puzzle mechanisms do I find interesting? Pushing crates? Not really. Ethereum that can move around? Yeah, okay. Minigame with bounce pads? Not really. Hidden items, mechanisms, and terrains? Keys, cranes, etc. Sure. Explosives? It's not a puzzle, you just need to bring explosives. Once you solve the supply issue of the explosives, just bring it to the entrance and that's all you need. It's not a real puzzle. It's just a progression gate. to make sure that you're producing explosives in the base. It's not an engaging puzzle. Aether Manifest? Ethereum? Nah. Yeah, that's really it. How do you rate the visual appeal of various maps? Hub base is so-so. It could be nicer looking. So I'll put 2. Valley Pass is a 1. Unengaging. Quarry's a neutral for me. Average. Originium Park? I kinda like Originium Park. The big valley cutting the north zone and the south zone is actually pretty cool. It's memorable. Blighted Zone? Blighted Zone is just it's average. It is average. What elements have decreased your satisfaction with the visual appeal? Artistic variation. Gloomy, lifeless environment. Modeling? Some textures are noticeably low. Some ground textures are noticeably low. I guess, but it's not a big problem for me. I know why it's low. It's to keep the performance up. Similar art design across, yes. 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 Okay. Yeah. How do you rate the layout design for the maps? Average. 1, it's just a straight line. Quarry, I like it. You zigzag around. You could create shortcuts in between with the zip lines. Sure. Originium Park. It's kind of disjointed. North area and south area is pretty disjointed from each other unless you put a zip line right in between. Right above the cliff. And the valley. But so far, I do like the winding aspect of the research area. Especially when you go inside for the first time. The building in the first time you get there. Blighted Zone. Blighted Zone is so-so. They handhold you for most of the Blighted Zone. What elements have decreased your satisfaction with the layout design? Oh my god. Getting flashbanged by the loading screen? Hell yeah. Challenges with vertical exploration? Yes. I wish that they could add stairs as a deployable building. Like, people say they want to have a mantle or a higher jump to get on top of ledges. Actually, just let us deploy stairs. And then we could leave the stairs in certain areas, and then it becomes more efficient to revisit those areas in the future. You don't need a higher jump or mantle, just make stairs available as a deployable. Stairs. Lean into the Death Stranding aspect of making traversal through a video game the actual game mechanic. Death Stranding moment, exactly. Exactly. You already have zip lines as a puzzle to solve to make your exploration more efficient. If you want to make like reaching higher heights more efficient, add more traversal buildings aside from zip lines. Maybe we could add elevators, maybe we could add escalators, maybe we could add stairs. Stairs is the most simplest thing that you could add. If there's, a thing that you need to reach and you can't reach it, stairs. Layouts? No. Indoor areas compared to open explorable spaces? Excessive indoor areas? I think the balance is fine. Overall map size feels too restricted. I have been feeling that. Kind of feels small after you've explored most of the place. Blighted area is the only real area that feels large. So yeah, maybe they could make the maps bigger. Could also facilitate other modes of transportation like mounts or the bike that they use in the very earliest cutscene. The one that Perlica was riding on. Lack of intricate multi-layered map designs that offer... Yes, I like multi-layered map designs. I'm a big Cyberpunk Night City enjoyer. Which of your following describes your experience with the base? Perfectly? No, I'm engaged. Yes. If more types of mechanisms in the base were introduced, what would I like to see in the game? Restrictions are fine. It's part of the puzzle. Cultural buildings, yep. Watchtowers, yep. Mechanisms for the base. Improve the world, yep. Make there be a tangible connection between your base and Talos 2 as a world. Because as of now, your base feels completely separated. Like in a bubble compared to Talos 2 as a world that they're trying to sell to you. So yeah. Decorative construction options to make your own space, yep. Rest areas for segs, yep. Segs update. Dormitories. Simulation gameplay with animal husbandry, pet keeping, yep. PvP mechanisms, hell no. The only people asking for this are Leviathans that want to crush non-whales. No. Large landmarks that would make the in-game world more majestic and unique? Sure, why not? PvE mechanism? You want to paint the whole map with belts? Maybe sometimes. The factory does not need to grow that much. PvE mechanisms, enemies attacking base. I don't want them to attack the facilities, but not our base specifically. Like, PvE, tower defense is okay as a conceptual game mode, but it's clunky when you need to constantly babysit the health of your base. Will building all over the map make you lag though? Probably. Imagine not being able to load because it's your fault. It's not that hard to optimize actually. We don't know how this game is coded. Is this Unity? Like, are they still using Unity for this game after all the debacle with Unity? Dyson Sphere project? I'd like the dev team to focus on polishing the current base gameplay. Nah, improve it. Keep adding more things. Unreal Engine 5. Ooh. That's why there's a lot of stutters. Oh. Oh, that explains a lot about the performance. Unreal Engine 5 looks good. There's a lot of pretty things that you can do in Unreal Engine 5, but optimizing it, a lot of UE5 games suffer from very consistent stutters, and that's where that most likely came from. Ooh, I understand now. I thought this was Unity. I was wondering why. This is Unity. Why is it stuttering a lot? It only takes up 6 gigs of RAM? Doesn't even have high draw distance? What's wrong? Oh, it's Unreal Engine 5. That's why. Have you had a chance to use ziplines? Yes. Advanced ziplines? Yes. Do you enjoy ziplines? I love them. Daisuki. Daisuki. Moshiroi. Daisuki. What do you particularly like about ziplining? I enjoy the sense of achievement from changing the world in my own ways. Yes. Exactly. Yes. It's a novel experience that I can't get every day in real... Okay, that's kind of sad. Whoa, that's kind of sad. My life is boring, so ziplining in a video game makes me feel a way that I've never felt before. That's kind of sad. Okay. Ziplining provides a fresh perspective to view the landscape. I guess it does, actually. It's kind of cool whenever you zipline. Greatly enhances... Yep. Okay, yeah. Agree. I agree. Imagine not living in Tibet. They have ziplines everywhere. Is that their main mode of transportation? In what areas do you think the ziplining experience could be improved? Animation for zipline travel doesn't mean... I think this is the most they've ever asked about a zipline. I don't remember zipline questions this deep from the previous surveys. The travel doesn't meet expectations. Awkward poses for travel. Team members teleporting. I don't know about that. It's impossible to accurately determine if there are obstructions between two ziplines during construction. You could tell. You could tell. It tells you. Concerns about aesthetics or ambience of the maps being ruined by presence of too many ziplines? I mean, that's also a thing. The map definitely feels a different way once you set up buildings in the map. It doesn't feel wild anymore. It feels like you conquer this planet, you colonize the planet with your electricity and your zip lines. But I'm not concerned about it. It feels like a natural progression with the intent of the story of the game. We're colonizing this planet. It feels like good progression. To ruin the environment with my man-made hunks of metal. That's a good thing. Yeah. Having a tangible effect on the game world feels good. It feels like you could personalize the world with your zip lines. No two players are gonna have the same setup of zip lines, unless of course Kyo makes a guide of the most optimal placements, but but yeah, it's also a puzzle that you solve on your own. So I don't feel too much about that. Zip lines become available too late in the game, leading to poor early exploration experience. The longer zip lines only get unlocked at tier 3 though. Early zip lines get unlocked at tier 2. Would I want zip lines to get unlocked in tier 1? Waiting for pollution mechanic for Factorio. Would I want zip lines to be unlocked in tier 1 of the base as opposed to tier 2? I do agree that early exploration is kinda clunky, but I don't know, it kinda ups the experience when you finally do set up your zipline system. I don't know. Too late in the game. The longest ones at least feel like they come too late in the game as of the moment. Early exploration I think is fine without that many ziplines. There's the reason why they don't just give you mounts straight up in many MMOs, because it could simplify your engagement with the world if you could fly over an area and no longer interact with the world on foot. So I don't think it's too early in the game. I think it's just right as of the moment. You have to engage with Talos 2 as a game world. And ziplines too early allow you to skip a lot of your immersion in just experiencing Talos 2 on foot. The installation cost of basic ziplines is high. I do see. Yeah. Yeah. Basic ziplines though. I just skip straight to the higher tier ziplines. I don't know the cost of the basic ziplines. I skipped straight to the highest tier. And that had high costs. It had a long production line. But it was okay once you got it up. It's difficult to seamlessly transfer between multiple ziplines as you wish. No, it seems easy. They need power, which require extensive wiring and hinders accessibility. Yeah. Hinders accessibility? What does that mean? Huh? I mean, the power is part of the puzzle in setting up electricity in the areas. It should need power. It's like an energy beam, not an actual rope that you zipline on. It's challenging to determine the optimal placement for ziplines due to distance. Yes. I'd like other characters than the Endmin to... Yes. That's one of my main criticisms about the zipline animation. It's only the Endmin. I get taken out. Sometimes the Endmin is not even on our current team. And then whenever you use a zipline, they just get pulled out for the animation. Then they go back in. Design of zipline mechanisms seem pointless to you? I mean, there was one guy in the Endfield Discord that was like, replace the ziplines with just teleportation. So this is for them. No. Ziplining is part of the fun. How satisfied are you with the dissatisfied? Very dissatisfied. Please rate your satisfactions with the 2 chapters in the game. Not even a question. We already have a teleport. Exactly. Through the fog, the whole episode of the quarry. Nope. Awakening as a doctor. The Awakening? It had some good cutscenes, but after those, it Nah. Waiting for a pollution mechanic from Factorio. Honestly, that would be pretty cool. We can't just we can't just endlessly keep using originium devices without repercussions to that, right? Surely, right? I mean, the presence of originium alone implies that maybe catastrophes could happen. Originium catastrophes. We already have, like, flux storms, which are blight catastrophes. Couple that with originium catastrophes? Shit. I mean, the base itself, there's not much challenge to keeping it up, so maybe there could be a man versus nature aspect to keeping your base up, and not just PvE attacks or raids by, like, PvE enemies. It could be like, if you have a base somewhere in a desert area, you would have to manage sandstorms, intermittent sandstorms that could mess up your production lines, so you have to create barriers and shit. That's part of the puzzle. Or if you're in a beach area that is, I don't know, that has strong winds, maybe there could be intermittent waves and tsunamis that could affect your base, so you have to prepare for those and shit and defend your base like that. PvE doesn't necessarily have to mean AI enemies would attack your base. It could also mean you have to manage your base through weather and natural disasters. How much do you like your current character design of the Endmin? I hate the character. Strong wording, but you put that there. No, I don't like the Endmin. Regarding the character design of the Endmin, what aspects do you think could be improved? Personality, backstory, signature animations? Like, if you think about the Endmin right now, what's their signature animation? They put their fists on their hips, and then they smile. And then there was that one cutscene where they put their hand on their chin. Wow! What interesting animations. And then they're smug. That's it, their smug face. So, yeah. Quality consistency of dialogue lines, which is in combat, they never talk inside of actual cutscenes. Yeah, whatever. Model quality, yup. Combat power, I don't... blah, blah, blah. It's meme-worthy for a bit, yeah. It gets old fast, though. Visual design, yeah. Honestly, really, make them older. Like, both Endmins look 17 at best. And I cannot buy them for, like, 100-plus-year-old legendary person that consistently helps out Endfield Industries. Like, I mean, they could explain it somewhat. Maybe they're just a clone of the Doctor. They're a younger clone of the Doctor. Or some shit like that. But as of now, there's nothing carrying. There's nothing visually with their design that screams experienced or important person. Man, you want the Doctor back in the story, not the Endmin? I don't want the Doctor back. I just want the Endmin to fit in the story that they're trying to tell. And so far, it's clashing tones. You don't understand that predecessor's technology, sarcophagus healing? Is it like a spa treatment? Is using a sarcophagus like getting a spa treatment and you freshen your skin? Is this like dermatology? Is that why their skin is so clear and they don't have pimples and shit? Get me a sarcophagus like that. Asian genes? Basically, yes. Why the fuck do we have to go back to the fridge when our job is done? Also that. Exactly. Like, there's a lot of mysteries with the Endmin. Of course they can explain it and shit, but the design itself, I feel like it clashes with the backstory they made with the Endmin. Too young. Definitely too young. Voice acting during combat, don't care. I personally feel that the Endmins are both too young and do not do not visually carry the weight of their legendary reputation. Yeah, that's a concise way to describe it. Their appearance clashes tonally with their backstory. Yeah, there's a dissonance. This is a super important person, and they kind of look like they haven't reached puberty yet. Maybe it's because that's the target audience for this game. Is that why? Is this targeted to Zoomers? As a gacha game, that's concerning. Canonically, Doctor in IS-3 4th ending also had to go to sarcophagus regularly. If it's I can't control my power for a long time while I'm awake, then the story won't hold up in the long term. Yeah. Yep. That should be it for the Endman. In the main storyline, do you find the protagonist's motivations and objectives clearly conveyed? They want to restore the Endman's memories. To do that, they have to find Angelina, because Angelina's the only one who knows how to do that. I understand their motivations and objectives, I just think it's fucking boring. I mean, that's where you start the game, regardless, but the delivery of it all has been uninspiring. The structure of the story has not been bad. Like the plot points have not been bad. It is so. It's where you expect they wanted to go with the Endmen and their amnesia. But it is clearly conveyed. So yeah, I do understand. Like they were transferring the Endmen. Wow, Freudian slip. They were transferring the Endmen on a plane, and then a bunch of bandits shot them down. I don't remember if they were important people or just regular bandits. They shot them down. The sarcophagus got damaged. Endmen got revived. And they were now awake. But they had no more memories, so they need to look for Angelina. Angelina's the only one that knows how to restore their memories. Whether or not that's gonna pan out is a different story. Maybe the Endman is the person who found this planet, then made the Stargate to connect Talos and Terra? I could see that. But once again, their appearance betrays their actual reputation. It's like, character design is a thing, and they don't look that important. They just look like doctor's children. They look like doctor's children. Do you ever skip some of the story dialogue? I watched it all. The Endmen being connected to the Doctor or Priestess? Yeah, for sure. In some way, they are definitely connected to Doctor and Priestess, because Rhodes Island, the sarcophagi that they're using in Endfield, it was improved by Warfarin. Like, eventually, somewhere along the line in Arknights, Rhodes Island gets hands on their own sarcophagus, which is implied by Kelsey's remnant skin, and then Warfarin would experiment on it, and that's how eventually, I assume, we could connect the dots with Arknights and Endfield. Warfarin or Closure, either one of the two, should have been in charge of developing the sarcophagi system 2.0. As for Kelsey monthly spoilers, don't tell me about the spoilers. These are just my speculations just from Kelsey's remnant skin. If I'm correct, hell yeah, baby. If I'm not, it is what it is. How do you describe the general tone of the story? Bland. It feels bland. In the future, what kind of narrative tone would you like for the game? Adventurous. This is an adventure game where we're exploring a new planet. It should feel exciting to explore new areas and biomes. Positive and heartwarming? Mysterious and suspenseful? Realistic and thought... Fuck me. Okay, I can only choose 3. thought-provoking. Actually, to think about it, in previous surveys, I put here that I want this game to be thought-provoking, but I think, now that I think about it, Arknights has that handled. Arknights has so much space to create thought-provoking stories just because of the very political aspect of the different nations and factions in OG Arknights. This is a different framework where it's an adventure game first and foremost. So what I would like prioritize in an adventure game, I think it should not be being realistic or thought-provoking. I think it should really just be the sense of adventure. Exciting, adventurous, positive, heartwarming. Positive and heartwarming? Not really. Mysterious and suspenseful. Lone Trail was really thought-provoking? Yes. They'll never restore the memories, that's for sure. The plot point will not pay off this quickly. Yep. I mean, with Doctor. Well. Anyway, they could try to do a different direction for the Endmen compared to the Doctor. Doctor was slowly fleshed out over the years, with both their backstory and their dynamic as a new person post amnesia. But with the Endmen is still a blank slate. They could still go different ways with them. Instructions not clear. We added Pieman. I'm not emergency food. I don't want it to be dark and cruel. Arknights has never been just individually dark and cruel. It's been poignant and depressing, but it's always had a glint of hope and shit. So yeah, I guess I'll put those. In terms of storytelling, in what areas do you think improvements could be made? I don't care about dialogue options. These are non-choices. They are illusion of choice. It does not matter. You could headcanon however you want your Endmen to act. It doesn't matter in the long run. Plot, logic, and coherence? Sure, why not? Connections? Do not give a fuck. I do not give a fuck how much you wanna connect this to the OG Arknights timeline. Move on, dude. Arknights is an old ex. Move on. We got new characters. Work on them. I don't need more Angelinas. I don't need more clones. Long-lived characters that can come back. Sure, why not? Closure would be nice to see them for sure, but prioritizing connections to the old planet? No, sell the new planet. Sell us on Talos too, not Terra. Cutscene occurrences, too many, too few. Too few, actually. You have $50 million that you made last year. Surely you could, budget some more cutscenes. The story's ability to strong... Yep, it is a little... Did they add this? I'm pretty sure. Huh? This parentheses was not here in previous surveys. Did they add this? What? It's a little boring for now? I'm not quite sure if this was here before. It's a little boring, yes, yeah. Consistency and flow of the storyline. Yeah, whatever. How satisfied are you with the quality of the cutscenes? Non-skippable cinematic. Very satisfied. They are cool. Which of the following cutscenes impressed me the most? Blah, 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 blah. Debut of Trigelos. Yeah. Waking up in the infirmary, seeing Kelsey but not Kelsey, and seeing Cannot. I don't know, that was fun. That was fun, but it didn't impress me. Trigelos, though, that was a lit intro cutscene to a boss. Narration of the game's world was it? Oh, this was the catcher-up. The animation that got them. The animation that reintroduced you to Talos 2, Endmin and shit. Yeah. The Destiny like lore dump was cool. Yeah, this is the narration. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I like that. Game needs. It was very. It was also stylized. It was very different compared to all of the other 3D rendered cutscenes. Regarding the cutscenes, are there areas do you think needs improvement? Narrative expression? Yes. Yes. Exactly. Yes. How well the performance conveys the story? Yes. Fluidity of character dynamics? Yes. Exactly. Yes. Exactly what I've been talking about. Yes. Cinematography of camera movement? Yes. Yes. Screenplay? Yes. More dynamic looking scenes. Interesting looking scenes. Accuracy and consistency of character and personality representation? That's also good. Yeah. All of these. For sure. They get it. They know. They've been paying attention. I think there's a new question overall. Or do I just not remember the previous surveys? That was a lifetime ago. How much are you looking forward to the future developments of the storyline? Future developments? I want to see if the Endmin recovers their memories, but with this current level of storytelling, not really excited. Other comments like to share about the storyline? Blah 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 blah. I've already included my other specific issues in the other surveys. Yeah. Have you ever played Arknights? Yes. I've never heard of it. Yes, I'm still playing. How would you like to see more Arknights? Fuck you! No! I don't... no! I'd like some characters to remain the same while others could have new coherent identities and backgrounds. Clan relations. Hire better writers. I think the good writers in Hypergriff are still working in Arknights. I genuinely think that they have different writers for this game. Like, for Arknights at least, they've been consistent with their quality of writing for the past few years. And this game has been in development for what, like, I don't know, 2 years? So, they couldn't have been pulled out of Arknights to work on this. So for sure, I feel like this has different writers. I'd like most Arknights characters to have new coherent identities. Yes, please. Please. For fuck's sake. I don't need callbacks to Arknights all the time to make me happy as an Arknights player. I just want you to meet my expectations on the story quality. You already made 400 plus characters in OG Arknights. Why can't you make 400 more for this game? Are you guys that lazy that you feel like we would be happier if we just had recycled characters? I want to see different characters. We're in a whole different world, whole different timeline. I don't always want to see. I don't want them to prioritize old Arknights characters. Feel like clan relations would be related to Endfield. Yeah, but I do prefer if it was just mostly new characters. I'm okay if we never see any descendants of any other characters from Arknights. And some people just get weirdly parasocial about their existence regardless. Oh wait, we have a new Knurl! We have a new Knurl, horse girl! Did Doctor fuck the Knurls? Which one did he fuck? It's like, was it Whislash? Was it Maria? Was it Margaret? Who's her ancestor? Who continued the bloodline? Or was it Mjolnir? Eyebrow raise? Was it Mjolnir? Did Mjolnir continue the bloodline? Hyping up old characters seems to work. Like in HSR. Yeah, that's a different beast. Not every game has to, you know, do the same things. Arknights, Endfield, at least with the gacha characters. Gacha characters, for sure, should really just focus on newer characters. If you want to have NPCs as OG Arknights characters, sure, why not? Bring us Closure back, bring us Warfarin back, bring the old hag back. Sure, why not? But for gacha characters that you want to get parasocially attached to, I think it's just cheap. It's cheap as fuck to rely on established parasocial relationships with old Arknights characters. Sell us new characters. This is a new game. This is a new game. Why am I playing a new game just to get the old characters? I want to get attached to new characters, learn new stories. Yeah, those are my thoughts. You like adding warfaring and making her a completely different character? We have an alter problem in Arknights. Endfield will have an OG Arknights character problem where they release them as limited. Yeah, that's a fear. That's a genuine fear. If they decide to add old characters, you'd like them to be themselves instead of completely different characters, at least. Yeah. I don't want them to do clones anymore. Angelina's one clone. Leave it at that. Leave it at that. Chen's a descendant. Leave it at that. But if Warfare and Closure are coming back, let them stay the same. Let them be familiar faces. Don't let them be playable. Don't revive Frost Nova just because Arknights players that have never read OG Arknights stories, they just want to play with Frost Nova as a clone. What's the point of her death then? Let them rest in peace. Let some Arknights characters rest in peace. Let long-lived ones become NPCs and shit. And let new characters become playable. Okay. Okie dokie. Regarding the current volume of story and side missions, what is your opinion? Side missions, more. More side missions, and more interesting ones at least. Story missions, prefer more, keep as is, prefer fewer. I mean... More, just more. More story, more side missions. It's just more storytelling in general. I'm not against any of that. Which of the following types of side missions do you prefer? Clearing enemies or bases? Like in Ubisoft games? Clearing forts in Ubisoft open world games? Collecting specific items? Scanning? Following animals? This is not Pokemon Snap. This is not Pokemon Snap. Local puzzles, activating power to unlock logistics transfer, repairing large mining machinery. I don't like any of these. Clearing bases is a chore. And if you clear them once, will you ever have to clear them again? And is there even will there even be a challenge in clearing bases? I don't like any of these. I want narrative side missions. Side missions that flesh out the world and the characters. That's the core of a gacha game. That's the heart and soul of Arknights. The characters, world building, not these mechanical gameplay things. First option is the best actually. It's not about whether they add OG Arknights or not. It's about whether characters should remain the same personality-wise if HG decides to add them. I don't like any of these. I want story-centric side missions. Or lore-building side missions. You're trying to sell us on the world of Talos 2. You're not trying to sell us on like forts and shit. Or puzzles and shit. You're trying to sell us on why we want to live and colonize Talos 2 to begin with. Overall, how would you rate your satisfaction with the side missions? They're boring as fuck. There's one side mission where you just collect a bunch of data materials. There's one other side mission where you bring the hat back, the helmet back to the one guy who's looking for his mentor. They were all very short, unengaging. That's it. Very dissatisfied. In the future, what types of side missions would you like to see? Collecting? No. Character related? Yes. Organization or faction related? Yes. Clearing enemies? Fuck no, don't care. Story. Sell us on the story. Sell us on the world. That's the biggest problem Endfield has right now. The gameplay can come later. The gameplay is honestly pretty fine. Just add more challenge to it. But story. Story is the biggest problem at the moment. How satisfied am I with the voice acting? Voice acting, story, and combat? It's okay. It's okay. I don't hate it. It's okay. Voice acting and story dialogue? It's okay. Voice acting in combat? Neutral. It gets annoying at times. What are the main reasons for your dissatisfaction voice acting certain characters? Too messy? Too loud? Lines feel out of character? Voice acting is subpar? Emotional presentation? It's not the voice acting that's subpar. It's the character models that's subpar. The voice actors are giving it their best. These voice actors, this British Union that they got, they're pretty good. It's just that the character models are not helping them out in their delivery. The unemotive character models are do not help with delivering convincing character performances. Otherwise, the dubbing has been good. Focusing solely on the Chinese voice, I do not know. I don't speak Chinese. I do not know. English voice acting. How do you rate the following characters? Wolfguard. Perlica. Honestly, I think Perlica's super one note. She does not help out in... She seems very like the tone that they're going for, the voice direction that they went for Perlica, it doesn't help out in trying to sell you on the story. Like I know what they're trying to go for her. She's supposed to be a kudere, like Ayanami Rei from Evangelion. But having her as our main attendant kinda like dowers the tone of many conversations. She's very robotic sounding. Yuki Nagato? Yeah, like also Yuki from... He's from Haruhi, right? I haven't watched Haruhi in years. Over a decade. Enmin? Too young, too smug. I don't hate it like Wolfguard, but too young, too smug. Chen? There's a bit of British that leaks out of Chen. So that's kind of dissatisfying. It kind of pulls you out of the... kind of pulls you out from the performance. Like Chen, obviously, she comes from Yan. So you expect her to have at least either a solid English accent, if they're just going for accessibility with how you get information out of the game, but sometimes the British... She has a voice line where she says bugger. What Chinese person says bugger? Bro? He's from Hong Kong, though. Hong Kong was colonized by the British, but this isn't real life. This isn't real life. Lungmen was never colonized by Victoria. Fial has been pretty... I like Fial for his mechanics. His voice acting? Nah. Fial is supposed to have an anger management issue. You barely hear that in most of his voice lines. Maybe when he uses his ultimate, but even the performance on his face on his ultimate, he doesn't even look that angry. But Fial apparently has an anger management issue, where he gets really angry. It doesn't show in the voice line. Ember? We haven't played with Ember. Haven't noticed. Zaihi? Haven't noticed. Abuena? Haven't noticed. Angelina? I think Angelina's voice dubbing has been pretty consistent with OG Arknights. He screams like a motherfucker when he does his pursuit attack. He does, like... Aah! But outside of that... I mean, he could be a bit more growly or primal. But, yeah. Yeah! What are the main reasons for dissatisfaction with the voice acting of the NPCs? Doesn't match the NPCs from my perspective, out of character, subpar. It's not subpar. It's okay voice acting. Some things feel like it doesn't match. Sometimes it's... That's for a Fial altar. Fial altar, where he puts down the scalpel and he picks up his hatchet again and his knife. He becomes the badass that apparently his backstory says he is. Lines feel out of character. They don't feel out of character. It's just that Perlica. Perlica lowers Perlica's Kudere. Would they know? They're weebs. Maybe they would know. Kudere tone does not help in facilitating facilitating excitement. No. In delivering, does not help in getting the player excited about Talos. Ah, fuck it. Perlica as the player's main attendant feels robotic and uninterested on it. One note most of the time. It doesn't help sell why we should. Yeah, whatever. Pretty one note. I'll just say that. I don't have too much about that. About the voice acting for the enemies. Sound effects aren't cool enough. Don't meet expectations. Insufficient variety. Whatever. Improve it. Sure. Anything to make the enemies more distinct. They've all been pretty bland except for the bosses. We've been on this survey for 2.5 hours. It is very long. Shut your pie hole! They have some funny lines though. How satisfied am I with the aesthetic appeal of the game UI? Very satisfied. Cool and sleek. I like it. How satisfied am I with the different aspects of the UI? The design of the interface? It's okay. It's good. Color scheme of the interface. Their signature color is this yellow that they consistently use all throughout. The yellow is the pure white. There's the orange. There are a lot of grays. So far, I think it's very clean and shit. Detailing of the interface. Neutral about that. Not quite too sure about that. Rocks don't have voice cords. Maybe they should. Maybe they should. Arknights is just the opposite of Endfield in regard to where Amiya is the MC and the doctor is the assistant and the guide. Yeah, that's kind of true, actually. That's kind of true. Huh. Amiya does a lot to carry OG Arknights because she's a very compelling character. Perlica, though. Perlica's like... At the moment, she does not have a character arc that we could get invested in. The current story has just been find Angelina, restore Enmin's memories. And that's basically just aligned with Perlica's mission of attending to the Enmin. But Amiya from the very start has had her own motivations aside from being the doctor's attendant. She is the inheritor of the Lord of Fiends, the Civilized Eterna. She carries a lot of weight from inheriting Rhodes Island from Theresa and Babel. Perlica at the moment feels very... She only exists as the attendant at the moment. That's it. Perlica is Kelsey without lore dumps. Focusing on visual aesthetics, which interfaces do I find satisfactory? The gear screen? Including animations? I guess, yeah. Time freeze? It's pretty cool. Facility detail screen? The detail screen, it could use some work. Visual aesthetics though, how it just looks, not how it feels. Well, that's a lot. Team screen, it's fine. Overview screen. Character animations. Yeah, it's fine. Main screen. That's pretty cool. Grid layout in the AIC. Oh no, I want an overhead grid layout. There's no way to see the whole base. in a grid as a map. No, not satisfied with that. Character weapon screen, including character animations. Weapon screen? This is just how it looks, right? It's not about actual interfacing with the menus, because the menus are clunky, sure, but they look great. The menus are designed for touchscreen, but they look great. So, I will specify. Map overview looks okay. Puzzle solving screen on the single map, huh? I don't know what this is. Character file screen. File animations. Is cool. So and so. Mission screen. Mission screen? Like in when you're getting your daily missions? It could be better. Dial screen? What is dial screen? Oh yeah, the watch. Yeah, that's great. The database screen? It's okay. Most menus look aesthetically satisfactory, but mechanically are clunky to navigate because the game is designed for touch screens and not optimized for mouse or controller gestures. There. Erlica is a Mary Sue character. She has a disturbing past and she is very perfect at what she does. She doesn't have any flaw at the moment. Where Arknights, you have 14-year-old naive child leader. There's still a lot of mysteries to unravel with Erlica. Like, Erlica has known the Endmin for a long time, apparently. We don't know how old Erlica even is. So, they could still develop her character at the moment. There's just not a lot to work with. Plenty of the characters in this game are Mary Sue's, just because they haven't shown us why they're that cool or strong. All of the gacha characters in this game are Mary Sue's. Fial, Kagurabachi, everyone. Just because there's no story for them to back things up. No, at least visual, experienceable story outside of their written lore in their archives. How satisfied are you with the usability and access? Okay. Mostly dissatisfied. This is what I meant. Gacha game characters in general. Not with Arknights. Arknights. Sure, there are over 400 characters in Arknights. Not all of them can get adequate story participation, but the ones that do, they are very fleshed out. Mary Sue's an insult that you could throw to any character, yeah. It just really means overpowered character that you didn't feel like you saw the progression of how they got that strong. So it's also a non-criticism. I don't like using the term Mary Sue. Focusing only on usability and accessibility, which are unsatisfactory. Weapon upgrading! Just like the thing I said before, why can't you just drag and drop shit? Or why is everything multiple inputs? Oh, we know exactly why. Because you have two thumbs when using a touchscreen. And it's a lot more efficient on a touchscreen than it is on a mouse and keyboard when you have to flick all the way like this from here to here. Character screen? No. Zooming, searching, filtering? Yeah, sure. Dial screen? Dial screen's okay. Not much to say about the dial screen. Gear, equipping, selecting? Yes. Oh, it's so clunky. Main screen? It's fine. Grid layout? Setting up stashing? Yes. Team's fine. Facility detail screen? Oh yeah, viewing formula. There we go. Viewing formula, adding items to a cache. There's no window in anywhere where you can see the full formula of any product. You have to go back and forth between buildings in the database. Hell yeah. Lack of auto pick? What do you mean auto pick? What? Usability, accessibility. Oh, okay. So it's not just with menus. Auto pick? Do I want to just automatically pick up loot? Huh. Do I just want to automatically pick up loot? Honestly, no. Because, you know, we have a limited inventory. Like, automatically picking it up would just fill up your inventory quick and make you go back and forth between places. You want to be able to choose what you want to leave behind. Database screen? Database screen is... it's alright for now. Dial screen, character, mission screen. What is the mission screen? With the quests? Whatever, I'll just put that there. Sure, why not? Try making it better. Feel like that should be an option to auto pick up loot. I mean, they could add it to a pet system. Like, you could bring around a pet that could just automatically pick up loot for you. They have that in, like, Diablo. That works. Maybe there could be an automatic pick up system with pets and shit. Yeah, okay, I'll just put there with pets. I don't want it to do automatically, but there should be some option. Maple Story Ragnarok Online flashback. Yeah, you'll have your pets just automatically pick up loot, and then maybe they could send loot back to the depot. Actually, that sounds great. Oh, that sounds great, actually. So for loot that you want to keep on your body, you pick it up yourself. But for loot that you want to go straight to the depot, maybe we could have a pet just automatically pick up flour. No. They could also bring items straight to the depot. Sure, I guess. Regarding the team screen, in what areas do you think improvements could be made? Holy shit, this survey has gone on for 3 whole hours. It is long, mainly because I keep discussing these. I don't think we won't have time to experiment with characters today. What the fuck? I just opened the game just to do survey. I haven't even done my dailies yet. Regarding the team screen, in what areas do you think improvements could be made? Switching characters orders isn't convenient. I'm gonna check. Can you just drag characters around in the game? Let's see.
I really need some exercise.
Oh my god, first time we opened the game. So can I...
I'm all right.
I can't just drag them to different positions on the team. I just have to... How do we do that?
I'll try to work with the
You
team.
can do them one by one. Then in quick team, this is how you get the order. You can't just drag them around like this. I don't think it even needs that. I think the usability is fine as is. It's fine. It is fine. Main screen, in what areas do you think improvements could be made? Some important features don't have buttons. Like what? Main screen? What main screen? Team function? Color scheme of the main screen. Are we talking about the same main screen? Is it like... Some icons have no hotkey prompt. Which main screen are we talking about, dude? Some hotkeys aren't convenient or can't because... I mean, yes. Technically, yeah. That is a problem just in general. Some buttons' functions aren't clear. Kind of, maybe they're clear. Some buttons aren't as important. It could be somewhere else. What? The main screen, as in the watch? What main screen? This is so vague. Which main screen? Because they have a different term for the watch main screen. Whatever, dog. No hotkey prompts. I have no idea what they're talking about. Prominently displayed? What? I have no idea. Next. Map screen. Switching between maps is slow and clunky? Is it though? Is it though? The option settings? Slow and clunky. Oh, that's fast. That's fine. It's fine. Bro. It's okay. Blah 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 blah. Prefer overall map to show more details of area maps. Overall map, like one big map? Instead of just individual ones that you have to click. I'm still doing it. The survey's that long. The survey's so long. It's the last comprehensive experience survey. It's the last survey they gave us. It's long. This thing is long. They have some new questions. I don't think we have time to play today. Endfield homework. Heh. Heh. Map filter function isn't convenient. And anyway, it is. So I'm still streaming. There's like I'm still streaming like tomorrow on the 20th, and then tomorrow and then next day on the 21st, which is the final day. So anyway, there's not a lot of content left in the game for us to try out. It really is just trying the other characters. It won't take more than one stream for that. So this is fine. We'll spend the whole stream today with this survey. At least we could discuss. Map screen. Map filter function isn't convenient. Can't filter undiscovered plants. Map filter. I'd like a better filter for the rifts that I've finished. Not for the plants, but for a different thing, a secret third thing. Single areas map, terrain, elevation markings aren't there. No, they're pretty good. I can tell the elevation from the map. Map screen doesn't provide clear navigation, mission navigation. Like you want a direct line telling you how to get there? No, I think it's clear enough. The map screen doesn't provide prefer maps to show more terrain details. No, that's just clutter. You want a map to be mechanically easy to parse. Add filter function for one-time rifts that you've completed. Add bookmark option to tag custom tag option to mark areas of note. I mean, custom bookmarks would be fine. I don't know. Just quality of life stuff. Maybe a lot of the buildings on the maps are all colored white on the map. So maybe you could just distinguish them a bit. Better distinguish different buildings on map screen with different colors, maybe. I don't know. Bro. Regarding the character overview screen, in what areas do you think improvements could be made? Character overview. I'd like to see the full body. We already do see the full body. More direct progression options. What? From the overview screen. If this game comes out, this game will have a community interactive map. Yep. Definitely. Transition effects for switching characters are lengthy? No, it's fast. Changing menus and shit. It's fast and snappy. It's like Persona. The color scheme of screen isn't appealing. It's just white. I mean, it would be nice if you could customize your menus and shit. But at the moment, it just feels fine. Idle character animations. In the menu? In the character overview screen? Wait, what?
I really need some exercise.
Do you have an idle animation or you're just standing there? Just staring? Stare. 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 I mean, yeah. If you had idle animations while you're just looking at this and they move around, it just makes the screen more dynamic, more lively. They're just standing there, staring into our soul. Stare. Stare. Like if you're, you know, analyzing your stats and shit, it wouldn't be bad if they could just be more lively while we oh, okay, hold up. Oh. My screen went black again. I think my HDMI cable might be glitching out. Okay, it's fine. Nah, that's my DisplayPort cable. Okie dokie. Let's go back. Oh my god, wait, hold up. My cable's fucking up. Whoa, I'm getting glitches. Okay, what the fuck, dog? Are you okay? You peace out? Chill, dog. My screen's like glitching. Maybe I'm gonna replace my cord. I'm gonna replace my cord. Okay, yeah. I'd like to see idle animations. Yes. Color scheme of the screen isn't appealing. It's just white. I can see how it gets old over time, but it's just white. It's fine. Progression options from overview screen. It's okay. Full body. Like, can we inspect the models? Actually, sure. Why not? Let us inspect the models for educational reasons. Yeah, that's it. That's our excuse. Regarding the dial screen, in what areas do you think could be made with the dial screen? Design or color scheme of the buttons isn't appealing. It's fine. Some buttons are rough around the edges. What the fuck? Who cares? It's fine. It's not rough. It's smooth like my brain. Gyroscope mouse's sensitivity is too high. It's with the screen and how it moves around like a lot, like this. Like this. Cookie said it bothered him, but personally, I think it's fine. Is it too high? Does it shake around a lot that it's that it matters? I think it's fine. Does it shake too much, chat? Are we shaking? Are we shaking, chat? We're making the thing dance. It's fine. Some buttons are too small to click. Too small. Too small, too small. These buttons? Probably also for when you tilt your phone. Oh yeah, right. That might get annoying on the phone. Too small. These are the smallest items, smallest icons on the screen. These three. These are not buttons, and then these buttons. I think they're fine. I think it's okay. At least from a PC perspective, on a 1080p screen, it's been fine. If anything, it makes it feel more dynamic rather than a static home screen. I agree. Yeah, okay. It's not too small. I don't know how... I don't know if it's gonna be any worse on a small phone, but on my screen, it is fine. Okay, so... everything looks good at the moment. Wait, can't you turn characters? Turn characters? Like turning characters in the actual...
My turn to have a go at this,
in this
right?
screen? I'm trying to drag the screen, trying to turn them. I don't think so. Can we? Oh! Oh, we can. I've never done this. Now we know. We can't rotate them up and down, but we could rotate them side to side. Okay. Can we zoom in? Oh, we can. Can I zoom in up and down? No. It's only upper body. So I don't know what they mean when they said that I want to see the full body. Because the game already does that. Why is that option even there if the game already does that? There's some questions like that where it's like, the game already does do that, I guess? It'd be nice if you could see her in different expressions or different poses and shit. I want to see her happy face, then her sad face, and then... and yeah. Probably talking about when not inspecting, like if you want to see the whole body. The potential screen where they show you Chen's ass is not available yet. The one pose where she has where she shows you her ass, that's a potential screen. It's not available yet. Regarding the game's UI, are there any additional suggestions or comments we'd like to add? Chat, do you have any additional comments about the UI? You've been watching Endfield streams and shit. Do you guys have any additional comments you'd like to add to this? Geck. Additional suggestions or comments to the UI. UI, so it's just how it looks, not how it plays, because UX is how you interact with the UI. Loading. Oh my god. Oh my god, you're correct. Oh my god. Yes. Loading screen caps lock. So they know I mean business. I mean is so bright. Oh my god. Loading screen is so bright. A dark mode version. Loading screen. A dark mode version. A dark mode option should be... I don't think it should be reliant on time of day. Because sometimes, you know, you might be in a dark room in the middle of the day. It should just be a general option. UI looks really great. Maybe the background, less white zone, if you know what I mean. A dark mode option should be available at any time of the day. Yeah, I completely forgot about... I always forget to bring up the loading screen, even though it's one of our biggest complaints. It's so fucking bright. It's 3 a.m., dog. Stop. Less white zone? I don't know what they're gonna do about the white zones. But the white is part of the aesthetic. It's like... Oh my god, my screen... Oh, my screen's back. Oh, my screen's glitching! Holy fuck. My cords. Oh, fuck me. Stay up. Stay up, dude. Stay up. Okay, there we go. No screen glitches. I should replace this cable. Let's see. Check it out again.
Some exercise.
Standing by.
Thank you for having faith. Understood.
Okay, I feel like if, you know, we have the ability to change the background in Arknights' main menu screen. Definitely, for sure. You should at least be able to change the background of the character's screen into different biomes that you unlock. Like, you could see them in different lights. You could see the models in different types of environments. That would be great. Not just this white testing environment. Yeah, I do agree. Okay. Yeah. We can unlock different backgrounds.
Blessed be Talos, the root of
to see characters in different lightings. Yeah, sure. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing inherently wrong with that. Yeah, good. Silhouette though. Interchangeable backgrounds for the character screen would be nice to see models in different types of environments and lighting. Ah! I accidentally bit my tongue. Okay. Okay. Any other suggestions, chat, you guys want to put in? I've been doing these surveys on my own. Do you guys have any suggestions for the UI? You like the silhouette, though. No more. Going once. Going twice. We are moving on to the next window. How satisfied are you with the textual presentation in the game? Ugh. Lore and stories. Honestly, I think it is a bit too wordy. I mean, you could be more concise in the dialogue. Love how many surveys there are. It sucks that many won't be able to get to the first survey. I mean, for sure, they're gonna have open testing. So eventually, they're gonna get a larger audience to test out the game and get a larger amount of feedback than just a couple hundred tech test testers at the moment. Character monster names have been fine. It's not that. Tutorials are a bit wordy, for sure, and they repeat multiple times. And sometimes they don't. It's not intuitive to what they're actually saying. They're too wordy. Lore and stories. Textual presentation of the lore and stories. Sometimes the lore bits that you find all over the map, they have weird alignment with the text and shit. Base-related text? Too wordy. No, I think base-related text is actually pretty good. It's pretty fine. UI and system text. Item, character, inventory, settings. Systems text. Let's take a short look back at the game. Systems text. Mission menu. Oh, this is what they mean by the mission menu. Bag. Presentation. Is this enough text? That's fine. That's fine. That text is fine. They're more wordy than mechanically efficient, but it's fine. PRTS. These are voice files. Collection. This is fine. This is fine. Lore. If you want to read a lot of lore, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I think overall it's been pretty okay. It's been pretty okay. Is it great though? Like, is it better than okay? Is it great? Settings, UI, system text. There's not a lot of settings to begin with. It's pretty average. It could be improved, but it's not bad. When reading game text, how much do you agree with these statements? Conveys correct information? So and so, yeah, I guess. Grammar accurate. I'm not here to grammar check you, but it's been fine so far. So and so. Text dialogue fit the context, feel natural. Does it though? Some text dialogue fit the context and feel natural. I'll put that at 2. Experience is comfortable. No text overflow. There is some overflow on certain lore bits that you find. Which language options for in-game text do you wish to see in the future? Localization is like a complex thing. Like, sometimes it gets pretty expensive to localize a game depending on how much text a game has. So for sure, there's going to be English. For sure, there's going to be Japanese. For sure, there's going to be Chinese. For sure, there's going to be... What's the difference between simplified Chinese and traditional Chinese, chat? No. Vote Russian? Okay, sure. There is a Russian Arknights scene. Korean. Do we want Korean? It's kind of complicated to talk about Arknights Korea at the moment. So, would we like the incels to play Endfield? Chat. Italian? You want Italian? Italian? I mean, look, dog. I mean, ideally, in an ideal world, we would have all of these, but there's a limit to their budget and shit. No, this is just for in-game text. Like, this is localization. It's not if they won't ever do an Italian character or Italian accents or something. You say Thai, but every Thai person plays Blue Archive. Most popular gacha among males in Russia. Really? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I don't know. Chinese, traditional Chinese. I don't know the difference between simplified and traditional Chinese. It's dependent on the country, because some countries have English as their secondary language, like the Philippines. I'm not looking for a Filipino translation for Enfield. I can understand English just fine. So it's really dependent if English is a secondary language. Just different hieroglyphs. You know what you said? For Lappy, Italian just for Lappy? I guess. I don't know, dog. I mean, yeah, I guess. Spanish? How big is this? Oh, God. Oh! The Spanish gaming scene is huge. It's huge. Like, localizing for the Spanish gaming scene is low-key kind of goated and overpowered. Like, I'm surprised not a lot of games localize for Spanish, especially gacha games. Like, that's a whole untapped market. Like, Spanish gaming scene is huge with streamers like Ibai and everyone there with Quackity and shit. Spanish gaming is huge. It's a huge untapped market. Yeah, okay. I have no strong opinions about any of these other things. You were joking about Italian? Okay, we'll take that out. Need Greek for Palace song? No, this is just in-game text. They could put... This is just in general. If they want to put like a Greek song into the game, it doesn't necessarily need the whole game to be in Greek. So yeah, this is fine. Anything else we're concerned with? Korean? Am I gonna put Korean? Look, man, I'm gonna avoid this. I'm gonna stay neutral on this one. If they ever add a Korean localization to Endfield, and we eventually have to deal with the incels all over again, it is what it is. We'll get there when we get there. Regarding the game's textual presentation, are there any other additional suggestions or comments we'd like to share? Textual presentation. Textual presentation, not really. Oh! Yes. Some wording on certain gear is too vague. It's too vague and don't intuitively explain what it does. AG, Berg's vague. Example, there's one piece of gear here that is confusing as fuck.
Easy,
Need fast skip on control like in Arknights? There is a full skip. There is an automatic play button. Like, where is that? Where's that one thing here? Moon Splitter, Nova Crusher. Nova Crusher weapons? Is this for a specific weapon? I don't know. Ultimate skills also trigger effects when scoring a critical hit. What the fuck does trigger effects mean? Also trigger effects. Spawning an orb? Like, some things are like that, which is vague as shit. Just give us numbers. Generally. In general, give us numbers. Unlike in Arknights. Some of the skills where you have to intuit. And you don't get entire numbers. Even with the numbers with the enemies and shit. Their stats. You still can't intuit that. It's still a grading scale from A to B or some shit. It looks weird on non-visual novel format. It's fine in new Idolmaster. The text speed? I have no idea what any of these games you guys are saying are. Are too vague and don't intuitively explain with numbers. Yes. Some wording on certain gear and menus. Menus are too vague. Too vague and don't intuitively explain with I have hiccups. Faster text speed? Yeah, okay. Faster. If you could read fast, I guess this is what that is for. Even if you don't want to skip a whole scene. If you could read fast. Faster text speed for dialogue would help for faster readers. That is true, chat. Very insightful of you. You guys are smart. Okay. Oh, blah 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 blah. Test speed option. If the game were to launch in the future, how likely are you to give it a try? I make content for this game, so this is like this is not like this is pretty artificial, but I will be playing Endfield, whether it turns out good or bad. I am likely to give it a try. Whether I like it or not is a different story. But so far, it has good bones. Aside from the story. How likely are you to recommend this game to your friends? No. No. I would recommend Arknights to many of my non-gacha gaming friends just from the story. I mean, I would just give them Arknights story reader so they never have to engage with the gambling and shit. But this game, as a game, it's super niche. Like, the factory building is already niche enough. Tower defense at least, many people have experience with Plants vs. Zombies and shit. But factory building is another layer of niche in gaming. It's not that recommendable to friends. And if I want them to have a good story experience, that's not gonna be it either. Currently, the story's kinda garbage. Gameplay experience? So, it's a low 2 from me. Low 2. Are there any other aspects of the game you're not happy with or would you like to see improved? Chat, any other aspects of the game you guys don't like that we put in here? This is the final survey. Speaketh now or forever remain silent until the next test. Any other things you guys have a problem with, you would like to see improved? I also reserve the option to rebuttal you guys if I do not agree with your stuff. No hard con. Yep, yeah, okay. I agree. There should be challenging, aspirational content to fully use your characters and the depth of the combat. True. More skills available in combat per character rather than one in an ultimate. I'm gonna have to disagree with that. I generally think 4 skills is kinda okay. They just need a 5th skill, which is either going to be a dodge with no iframes or a partial block to cancel yourself out of basic attacks. They should still keep trying to work on like the block or dodge, and then we'll see from there with coming tests. We'll start from there. Let's not go all out and add another skill. Another skill is just one more extra tool you have. Let's go baby steps. Want them to throw more characters in so we could see how it's going to go forward with the combat system? More characters in. Like gotcha characters? I mean, they will add those eventually. Maybe add auto defense recovery skills. Automatically charging skills. Huh. No, that kind of that leans a lot more into trying to get the game to play itself. And part of the game is really managing your cooldowns. More skills available in go do with aspirational content with appropriate rewards, not just resources. With aspirational content with not appropriate, exclusive. Aspirational content needs there should be challenging aspirational content with exclusive rewards so that players are pushed to fully use their characters and the depth of the combat. I want them to throw more characters in. What does that mean, Seiya? How it's going to go forward? Okay, fine. I'll just put that regardless. Add more testable 6-star characters, because we only have one 6-star in the game. It's only Enmin. And it seems like 6 stars are going to have 2 skills instead of 1 that you choose from. They won't have an extra skill in battle, but they'll have an extra skill that you choose from the menu. Testable 6 stars in coming tests. Story archive to read the story if you skipped it. Oh yeah, true. Cutscene archive. There should be a cutscene, and story archive to review past events. Yeah, okay. True. Very true. Kits right now are very basic. You'd like to see more dynamic gameplay with more advanced kits. We only have 5 stars at the moment. Anything is possible with the way they want to design 6 stars. We'll see how that goes. Enmin so far is the only 6-star. Yeah, okay. I am moving on to the next page. Going once. Going twice. I am moving on. Are there any other aspects of the game we're happy with and we'd like to see continued further? Music is banging. Hell yeah. Music is banging. Continue that. Anything further refined? Refine the combat. Refine the progression. Refine? What would we want to be refined? Refine the combat, honestly. Keep refining the combat. Keep refining the combat because it has good bones. It just currently feels clunky. The base. Do I have any thoughts about the base? No, keep up with the base. The base seems okie dokie. Boss fights. Keep up the quality of the boss fights. To match Triagelos. Match Triagelos' quality. Hell yeah, Triagelos was a lit fight. Base building. Make the pathing easier to do. Make belt pathing in AIC less clunky and glitchy. Less glitchy. And easier to do. Challenge. Nah, that was with the previous one. I want more challenge. I don't want them to keep up with the current difficulty, which is just to make rifts 5 levels underneath you. I should have put that in. Fuck. Okay, I'll just put that here. Rifts. No, wait. Crisis rifts. The hardest content in the game should appropriately match your level or surpass it for a meaningful challenge. Yeah, there we go. Currently, the crisis rifts are 5 levels below their supposed level of challenge. Yeah. Base building, okay, that's it. No more things, chat. No more things you wanna tell them to keep maintaining and shit. Okay. Moving once. Going once. Twice. We are moving on. Finally, we would like to briefly understand your views on entertainment. Huh? This is new. This is a different question. My views on entertainment? We're gonna get philosophical on this one. Considering your personal preferences, what's your favorite form of entertainment? Video games. User-generated content? Like content creators and shit? I mean, yeah, sure. Music, podcasts. Podcasts, I like podcasts. TV shows, I don't watch a lot of TV shows. Music, I don't listen to a lot of music. Gaming conventions, I've barely gone out since COVID started. Yeah. Considering the enjoyment of in interacting and bonding with people, what's your favorite form of entertainment? When I'm bonding with people? Yep, podcasts. When I'm bonding with people, how do I... Video games, you bond with people through video games. Bond with people by watching content creators? Oh yeah, I guess. Yeah, they're chats. Community building in chats. You guys are watching me right now. I am user-generated content. Blah 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 blah. Although I do like, you know, whenever we go to a convention, it's always fun interacting with the people that you meet online. Stuff like that. Unfortunately, there is no Arknights pop up in the Philippines. Am I gonna take a flight to Singapore just to hang out at the Arknights pop up there? Maybe, sure. Maybe it's nearby. Please rate the degree to which you agree or disagree with the following statement. What? If online influencers I trust have reviewed the game, I'm likely to trust this game developer or IP. Ooh, interesting questions. If online influencers I trust review the game, more likely to trust, huh? Oh, more likely to trust the game at least. I mean, I have certain reviewers that I trust a lot for game reviews, like Skill Up. Like experts on certain video games will most definitely be some content creators. I mean, but also some content creators could be content brain. You have to always keep in mind that content creators sometimes view video games in very different ways compared to like consumers in general. Like sometimes what they want might be endless content, and what is good for a game in general might be a completely different thing. So it's more of a 3 in general. It's not overly agree or strongly disagree. It's just neutral. I'll just say 4. I'm leaning more towards agree, actually. I'm more inclined to purchase the game after watching a video created by an influencer I follow. I've never felt that. Actually, streamers. Have I ever felt that in the past few months? No, I'm mostly just tuned into actual just trailers. I decide for myself if I want to buy a game. And then I just check reviews. Oh my god. Fine. Fine, that's how you got into Genshin? My condolences. And then fell down the gacha rabbit hole. User-generated content videos help me discover new games and products to buy. Yep. Definitely agree on that. Videos from content creators won't influence my game purchasing decisions. Game purchasing? Won't? Won't is a strong word. If I see a content creator play a fun game like Lethal Company is a game that was completely carried by content creator influence. Among Us was a game completely carried by content creator influence. I'm not saying that it won't influence my game decisions. Sometimes the meta will match up between what stream content has been fun and what is actually good to play. Like Pal World. Like Pal World is a new game that just came out in like early access. It's a Pokemon clone where you could do violent things to Pokemon and people. It's like a parody of Pokemon and shit. It looks like a fun stream game. It does not look like a fun game to like dive into. So 1 or 2. I guess 1 or 2. They don't influence me that much, but I do sometimes. Sometimes it does happen. In general, no. User-generated content helps me feel a stronger connection to the community and the game. Yeah. Fan artists, fan art, fan music with Arknights definitely helps develop the game even further. Palworld is much more than that, and it's fully released. I see. I didn't mean to derogatively say that it's just a Pokemon clone. But as of the moment, I'm currently not interested in it, but it seems fun from all the streamers playing it and making lots of fun clips out of it. Whether it's actually worth playing for a long time, who knows? It might just be the flavor of the month. So you always have to take that into account when streamers play fun new games. I never watch user-generated content. Nope, I watch a lot. But overall, yeah. User-generated content helps build the community. This is why fan artists, content creators, YouTubers, streamers are kind of important for community building. What types of influencers, content creators do I follow the most? Top 5. Parenting influencers? Come on, dog. Bro, what do you think I am? Palworld is kind of like Ark plus Pokemon. Fashion influencers? No. Thought leaders? Beauty influencers? Journalists? Celebrities? I don't follow celebrities. I do follow celebrities, but not in a parasocial sense. Photographers? Writers? Bloggers? Micro-influencers? Mid-tier influencers? Bro, we having an influencer tier list right now? Gaming influencers, social media sensations, I don't give a shit about Da Vinci. Or TikTok influencers, no. Subject matter experts? I guess. Mega influencer? What the fuck are mega influencers? Mr. Beast? I don't follow Mr. Beast. Not my kind of content. Not my kind of content. Travel influencers? Do you think I travel? I'm a gamer. What do you think I do? Lifestyle influencers? Pet influencers? That's 2. Please select top 5. What the hell is mid-tier influencers? Micro-influencers are like Twitter. Twitter famous people. But they don't have YouTube channels or shit. I think that's what micro-influencers are. Maybe they're also bloggers and shit. Mid-tier influencers? Sure, why not? It's mostly just gaming. Mostly gaming. Thought leaders? Sure. I watch San. San's always a good watch. Blah 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 blah. 1, 2, 3. I'm just gonna pick those 3. Bruh. Low follower YouTubers? Micro influencers? I guess. I'm a micro influencer. I don't follow too much. Oh my god, we're done. Oh my god, we're done. God damn. 3.5 hours of survey. Wow. Oh my god, we're done. I should have like
Check this out.
done this at the start of the stream.
Seen this before, right?
3.5 hours of a survey. Homework. Wow.
Harlika can easily deal with most problems.
Intern will
alone,
skim
but she
through and
always wants me
forget.
around to help.
No!
Without getting physical, you know.
I'm still wondering if they're ever gonna do the actual direct interview. I did say I am available for video interviews. So who knows about that? Oh, bro. Okay, so I think that should be it for today. That took a lot out of me. The survey was long as shit. Anyway, I think we still have 1 or 2 more days of Endfield technical tests to try out the other characters, and they're already maxed. They're already maxed, so we could try them out in just one session and see how it goes. There's not a lot of content left in the game anyway. We'll just be trying them out in the Crisis Rifts. Not much else after that. Might as well leave that for a separate session. I think the final survey was just fine for content today. We did a lot of discussions. I'm just gonna do this while I get ready to stop streaming. Am I applying for Wuthering Waves CBT? Not gonna lie, I do not care about any other gacha game franchise aside from Arknights. This game already did a lot to convince me to get back into gacha
I'm still
games.
trying to get used to the tele protocol.
So
I prefer traveling
no, I have no
short
interest
distances on my
in Wuthering
leg.
Waves. I have no interest in Zenless Zone Zero. I have no interest in Star Rail. Whatever. I just want to play more video games in general. Anyway, Endfield tech test streams are about to end soon, so we'll be back in regular Arknights content very soon. I'm not sure if we should play a variety of other games in the meantime. I have Death Stranding in my backlog. I still have our playthrough of Satisfactory, which we haven't continued. We tried Satisfactory like during the CN technical test, just as a joke stream. It was fun. I still have Armored Core. I got Armored Core for Christmas. You guys interested in an Armored Core playthrough? So we got a ton of things we could do in Arknights Dead Weeks. And we still got the EX stages for the current ongoing event with So Long Adele. So we got that in the coming weeks. But for now, I guess this will be it for this stream. We didn't really get to try out any new characters. We just did a survey. It was just some homework. I didn't expect it to go that long. But anyway, we will actually be trying out all the other characters we haven't played with yet tomorrow. If you compare the tech tests of Wuthering Waves and Endfield, Arknights is more developed and you're hoping for a better product from Hypergriff. It's a community poll for stuff like this, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. I will be peacing out. Once again, my name is Nez, and thanks for watching. Tomorrow, we will be playing some more Endfield. Tech test will end on the 21st, and we might as well finish up everything that we can and need to do. There's that. I will see you all tomorrow, hopefully. Thanks everyone to stop by to chill out to answer this survey with us, but I will be peacing out. Bye-bye, friendos.